many of you read the Seattle Times. If not, you saw this, I'm sure, on social media. It was John Stanton's letter for Mariners fans. Bump, did you see this? I know you had a very busy weekend, and usually on weekends, because you're working college football, you're out of town in California. Did you catch this?
No, I read it this morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in case anyone didn't see it, I will very quickly catch you up. Mariners chairman and managing partner John Stanton took out a full-page ad in Sunday's edition of the Seattle Times. Sidebar, the Seattle Times cover special that they have for the Mariners season looks phenomenal. I've been looking everywhere to try to find myself a hard copy of it, but that's just an aside. So for the letter, John Stanton said, "There's no sugarcoating it. I'm heartbroken at the way the season ended. We've never come closer to bringing our first World Series to Seattle. I know how much our players, coaching staff, and front office wanted this for you." He thanks everyone on behalf of the organization for their passionate support all season long. From opening day to the last out of the ALCS, you cheered so loud you created measurable seismic activity. You stayed on your feet for 15 innings. You showed up with signs. You brought out our players for curtain calls and started dance parties on sidewalks after games. So talked about just how tough that return flight was. You were there to greet us at the airport, at the ballpark with thank you signs. They saw all of it. They heard all of it. They felt all of it. We all did. Talked about we play for you, and then this is important. The Northwest deserves a World Series. I know we are going to get there. This is the beginning of a special era of Mariners baseball. I underlined this part. There is work to do to take that final step. That work starts now. He ends it by saying, "We can't wait to get back to T-Mobile Park with all of you. Thank you again for being the best fans in baseball. Go Mariners." But let's talk about that. There is work to do.
Before you start, I read that part, and I automatically thought about you.
Why?
Because I'm like, Stacy's about to go in. Stacy's about to tell them exactly what they need to do and when they need to start. So the floor is yours. I'm
not about to go in.
Not go in, but I know you would have a strong opinion about that.
Yes, because here's the thing. When you say there is work to do to take the final step, that work starts now. On the one hand, I applaud the chairman and I'll say the ownership group as a whole, kind of attaching it to him, for at least taking out the ad and acknowledging there's work to do. At the very least, the ad wasn't like, "Thanks, fans. See you in 2026. No, you're saying there is work to do to take that final step. That work starts now. The unspoken part of it that I do want to talk about, and I'm not necessarily going in on, but like that I feel passionately about, is that work starts at the top. You know what I mean? Like, are there things that Mariners decision makers could do better? Sure. They've talked about it. Their pro scouting could probably use some work. Their most impactful players ended up being homegrown players, maybe some players that they had acquired via trade. Randy Arozarena midseason trade, Luis Castillo midseason trade, Naylor and Gino midseason trades. The pro scouting, signing those free agents like a Mitch Garver, that hasn't really worked out for them, right? There are things they could do better. But overall, they made some moves that I really liked this year. Bringing back Polanco ended up being fantastic. To me, the work is spending. The work is giving that front office the resources they need to get this team back. Because in my mind, in the conversations, Bump, that I have had with so many Mariners fans after this, overwhelmingly, and tell me if you guys disagree, tell me if you guys feel any differently, overwhelmingly what I'm getting from people is, yeah, this was really amazing. I'll never forget this season. So many shared memories, and God, it meant so much. I'm afraid we'll never get back. And it's a bummer that a week after the season, the thing that so many Mariners fans feel, in addition to gratitude and kind of, excitement about what the season was, is fear. Is fear that they will not get back. Not because getting to a World Series is difficult, that is a factor, but because they fear that for a team like Seattle that doesn't spend a ton, the window is fleeting and potentially even closed already. And I think the only way that you prop that window open for as long as you possibly can, in addition to what Jerry Dipoto would call like developing players and doing all of that stuff, is by giving your front office the resources it needs. What does it cost to bring back Josh Naylor? I don't care. I don't care what it costs. He was so important to your team. I don't care if some of his stats end up regressing a little bit. Like I don't think he's going to steal as many bases in 2026. Doesn't matter. Your club needed him badly. There's already players on Instagram J.P. Crawford, one of them, Bryce Miller, another, that are Bryan Wu, that are commenting about how much they loved him. Players clearly want and need him back. What does it cost? Don't care. You said there's work to do to take that final step. The work starts now. That's one of them. That's an example. Whatever it takes.
This is the worst part about offseason is that Stanton could put out this letter, and I think he was supposed to put out this letter, right? It's
I'm glad he did.
It's addressing the fans and communicating with them and, just recognizing them.
Right thing to do.
But the worst part about it is that moves aren't going to be made right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be time in between the last game of the season and the moves being made. And because of the past, fans are going to have the fear that you just described as, hey, listen, they typically don't make the right moves. They typically do not invest the way that we want them to. I'm scared. Why should we invest emotionally in this team? And I get all of that. They just did something that they haven't done before in a long time. 24 years making it to the ALCS.
Well, never before to a Game 7.
Never to a Game 7,
before.
right? So, yes, so they have done something never done before, but haven't seen this round in 2020 in 24 years. So me, and it's easier for me because I was not born here. I didn't grow up here. I wasn't invested in the Mariners the way that everyone else has been, right? Give me the last 10 to 12 years I've been locked in with the Mariners, right? There are people who have grown up with just this misery and this fear. So it's easier for me to sit here and be like, let me just wait and see. Let me wait and see. You're saying all the right things. Last offseason, you did not say all the right things. Last offseason was a disaster when it came to your public relations. And even after this is all said and done, Jerry DiPoto sounded different after talking to the media. He didn't throw no bogus numbers or you should be lucky or that little grin that he has when he's talking to people, kind of condescending a little bit. You know what I mean? All right, so I'm going to take it step by step. I'm not telling people not to feel what you felt because my situation is different with this ball club. I think that there's no way they're looking at what Naylor brought to this team and don't place value on it. There's no way they're looking at how close they got to a World Series and don't place value on this team. So I'm going to sit back and I'm going to be patient. I'm going to be a bit nervous, not as nervous as a lot of other folks. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to be nervous. I'm going to pay attention. I'm going to watch. And if they do not do what they're supposed to do, this is my defining moment when it comes to my relationship with the team. If they don't do what they're supposed to do now, then maybe I can tap in a bit more to what the majority of people are feeling when it comes to the nervousness of this team not doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, I think that's fair, and I think there are a lot of people, especially transplants, that are where you are, Bump, where they're like, well, hey, it's one thing to miss the playoffs and realize you can still make a profit and people will still show up and be loyal fans. It's another thing to feel what it feels to get on that flight back from Toronto when no one wants to talk and everyone's upset and everyone is devastated and Cal and Julio and a number of other players are visibly in tears post-game. It's another thing to get on that flight and come back. And I think part of me, like I think John Stanton loves baseball. I think he adores baseball. And I think it's really easy to just dislike rich people, frankly. I think, though, that I have been very critical of this team's lack of willingness to take risks, and I will continue to be until they take risks. I do wonder, a small part of me, whether for even someone like John or the rest of the ownership group, this was a new feeling. You know what I mean? Like, I think of it for like for Jerry, for Justin, for John, right? The trio that are kind of at the head of what's happening here. This was also new for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what if that?
You want that feeling. You want that feeling.
Well,
but the competitor, if you're a competitor, if you're a true competitor, right, and you get to Game 7 of the ALCS, you want that feeling. You'll do anything you can. I remember the first time I scored a touchdown. First time I scored a touchdown on varsity football. It was Friday, 2001 against St. Bernard's on a Friday night. I ran a jailbreak. I scored a touchdown. And when I crossed the end zone, the feeling that I had, I go, I want that for the rest of my life. I will do anything. In that moment, my preparation changed, my mental changed, and that's me being an athlete. So them being the guys who actually pull the strings, right, who actually construct this team, right, I hope that they felt that. They felt the agony of defeat and then the excitement of almost being there and now trying to figure out how do we continue to be there? How do we continue to put ourselves in that position every single year?
Yes, and that should be the bar. The bar isn't, and I'm sure that Like, let's say Mariners ownership would push back against the idea of like, not only do we not have money to be a top 3 spender, but we're not just going to spend to spend. We don't want to spend a ton of money on Devers if we're Boston and then end up trading him to San Francisco and look at that ends up being a waste of money. Sure. But it's not about spending to spend. It's about your bar is getting to a World Series. What moves must you make to get there? Some years, that's going to be giving new contracts to the pieces you already have. It's not going to be hitting free agency and getting the 3 best players available. It's going to be keeping the players you have. Sometimes that's what spending is going to look like. Other times, it might look like giving up prospects that as Mariners decision makers and as a front office, you've spent years of your life scouting these guys. You're so excited to have them, and it's painful to part ways with them knowing that they could be really special, but it means that you're getting to a World Series that you truly believe the piece you're acquiring is getting you to a World Series. I'm glad I don't have to make those decisions. That's incredibly stressful, but those are the decisions that must be made, because I think that there are many people that looked at this statement and thought, hey, appreciate you saying thank you, and also we're disappointed in there are moves to be made. It's going to mean more when you see moves. And I think so many people from around here constantly, the reason that there's almost, I don't want to say a vitriol, but like a bitterness and an anger is that I think it's rooted in sadness and it's rooted in a longing. So for me personally, right, the first person I thought of was like my Uncle Jim, diehard Mariners fan, became a fan when they came here, obviously. First spring training, first season, he was watching, absolutely devoted, every single game, every single year. And he died a couple years ago. He never saw them break the drought. He obviously never saw them get this far. And I think that every single person has one or more people in their lives that they think of all the time. And so there becomes an emotional investment in almost wanting a group of people, an entire fan base, to be rewarded for the loyalty and to be rewarded for the years spent watching this team and being a fan that many people just passed before.
Here's the thing about this, what's going to happen here, though.
Yeah.
Right? Moves to be made. There aren't going to be any, like, major signings.
Why not?
This team, because we're listening to who we talk to, Passing, or we're listening to them, and Shannon, we listen to her. The way they view this team right now
is that it's mostly complete.
Yeah. And if you are a team that makes it to the ALCS, you win your division. Granted, there's other factors of why you won your division. It was down this year.
But is that how you felt when they were there?
No. So let me finish.
Okay.
The moves that are going to be made aren't going to be the ones that people wanted to be as drastic as last year. Like last year, you had big name free agents out there, want to make this move, go get that name, get rid of that guy. I think they view this team as almost complete, and you're going to have to fill in some gaps. Like we were talking about the bottom of the order. You're not going to sign a superstar that fills at the bottom of the order. Well, I think we agree the biggest move is probably going to be what are you going to do at third base with Suarez, who's going to fill that void, and then what do you do with your arms? So I think that we have to be careful with how we view this offseason. Moves need to be made. The right moves need to be made. And this might be the hardest offseason for them out of all the offseasons, because now you really got to hit. Now you really got to find that batter in the 8th spot who's just going to slap the ball out there. It's not going to be as easy as sign Vladdy Dottie or get this big name out there. I don't think it's going to be that type of offseason. I think this is going to be the hardest one for them yet, because now it's about really finding the right pieces. It's easier to go out there and say, who's the biggest name out there? Who hits the most bombs? Who's slugging? Who's doing that? I don't think they're looking for that player. I think they're looking for the role player and a couple arms.
I think they need to be looking for the pieces that will get them to a World Series.
Yeah.
And if you look at your roster, this is how I feel about it right now. Are there going to be very expensive free agents? Like if you're looking at third base and you're like, oh, Alex Bregman, he can be at third base. That's a bat that we can go get. And there's probably someone going, oh, Alex Bregman, you mean the 32-year-old who's going to come in here and be someone else in his 30s? Okay, but is Alex Bregman in 2026 going to get you closer to a World Series than Ben Williamson at third base?
I would think so. Yeah.
Then that's what you do.
That's the move. I think
it still gives you a ramp for Williamson. He's 32 years old.
There's probably one big move out there, and we're looking at third base. But everywhere else, they said they like their outfield. They like JPS short. They're probably going to bring back Polanco. He's going to DH, maybe play some second base if he's healthy. You sign Josh Naylor, right? Hopefully you sign Josh Naylor. You're good at first base. You're good at catcher. They say they like their outfielders. Like, where is the big move? It's only just third base at this point.
I don't know that I want to look at a roster who gets to Game 7 with 3 more outs to go, and your only options are Dom Canzone, Leo Rivas. And again, no disrespect to those guys, and let's say Ben Williamson. If those 3 names, Dom Canzone, Leo Rivas, Ben Williamson, are in that moment again, are you confident? And if the answer is no, then give yourself other options.
You're saying exactly what I'm saying.
Yes.
It's just, you don't want those guys to be in that position. But it's going to be that type of guy that they're looking for, a role player guy. It's not going to be 7, 8, 9. You're not going to get a baller down there. You're not going to get a 5-time All-Star. You're going to get a very solid baseball player who can put the ball in play. A profile that is similar to those guys, but better than those guys.
Sure, fantastic. Add some contact, add that guy. That's totally fine. My fear is the reason that you could have those role players there this year is because you're essentially, in theory, 1 through 6, but it ended up being like 2 through 5, ended up being phenomenal for you, but that's because it did include Gino. You're probably not bringing back Gino. So what now? Like, third base can't be the type of batter that you had in that position because now you've got 4. And I know that's what you're saying, but I'm saying that, like, that's where I look at it and say, you can think as an organization, we want to develop our guys and have our guys and leave room for these young guys to flourish, and that's great. It can't be at the expense of getting back to a World Series.
100%. Agreed.
You know?
Yeah.
I know that you agree, but that's where I kind of look at this letter from John Stanton and think, I appreciate that he did it. Mm-hmm. And I think John Stanton wants to. I think John Stanton would love to get to a World Series.
You think he's better off not saying anything?
No, I think it was right for him to say something. I think that's good that he did that.
He applied pressure to himself and the organization.
That's what I think, yeah. And so I think now I'm curious to see what those moves look like, especially with John representing ownership as a chairman, kind of putting himself and them out there and saying there's work to be done. Well, one group of people are in charge of what work can be done, and it's them. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes, and a conversation that we will continue to have here. Right now, let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number 1, the Raiders are signing free agent wide receiver Tyler Lockett just days after his release from the Titans. What's the real headline?
Yeah, I think a blind man could have seen this one coming.
Curtis called it, right?
He sure did.
Yeah. This was the easiest prediction of all time.
And I was praying to God that he didn't do this to himself. You are entering a team that is 30th ranked on offense, 27th when it comes to passing, 31st in scoring, 25th when it comes to pass attempts. Gino leads the league in interceptions right now. There's not a lot of talent over there. Jacoby Myers isn't having the season that I thought he would have. But this is I understand the move because you want to bring back good vibes and leadership, and Pete understands Lockett. Lockett understands Gino. But what do you really expect out of Tyler Lockett? His last 100-yard game was in 2022. The most targets he's had this year is 4 against Arizona in 2025. If he's okay with just being a number 3, number 4 receiver, then okay. But I hope the Raiders fans aren't looking at this, and I'm sure they're not. They're smarter than that. They're not looking at Tyler Lockett and saying, come save the day. This is a locker room catalyst type of move.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, the Dodgers tied up the World Series at 1 game apiece thanks to Yoshinobu Yamamoto's second straight complete game in the playoffs. What's the real headline?
I never thought this day would come, but Bump, you're going to have to root against an 80s baby tonight.
I know, man.
Max Scherzer on the mound for the Blue Jays, and that's a tough one for you.
And
it'll hurt.
I can appreciate Max's attitude too. He's a little crazy. He's a little crazy, and I can appreciate that because once you get in your late 30s, 40s, man, you start acting super different. Your temper, you got a short temper, and that's what I see out of our guy there. We're gonna need a good performance, man. The Blue Jays, they are a complete team, a well-rounded team, man. Everyone has their weaknesses. Their starting pitcher isn't the greatest, but they're scrappy, and this is gonna be nervous. I'm gonna be nervous with this one.
Is Game 5 and Game 7, I guess, the only Blue Jays postseason games? And Curtis, what one was the one with Aaron Judge, the comeback that the Yankees had? There have been so few actual
game
close
3 of the division series.
There have been so few actual close contests for the Blue Jays. Either they lose and it's not super close, or they're dominant
Blowing
and it's
them
not
out.
super close. Like I feel like their games in the postseason haven't been nearly as riveting as have you look at the Mariners in the ALDS or the Mariners in a couple games against the Blue Jays, keeping it really tight. Like it's just, and that's how the World Series has started so far, with 2 lopsided victories for either team.
We're gonna need another complete game out of our starter. Need Snell to have one eventually.
Stay out of
Yamamoto
that
to have
bullpen.
another one. Just go deep, man. I looked it up. Jack Morris in '91 and Strasburg in 2019. 3 complete games in the playoffs. That's the record. I think we might have to touch that during the series.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 3, despite a blowout win over number 23 Illinois, 6-2 Washington remains unranked in the latest AP Top 25 poll. What's the real headline?
The only rankings I care about as a Husky are the U.S. News and World Report's rankings of the
that's
top
right.
research universities in the world, with my dogs coming in at number 8.
Bow down.
Bow down to Washington.
You know what's funny? You guys are number 8 because all the foreign students you have, though, honestly.
Excuse you.
All the foreign students hold that down for you.
Dang right they do. It's also a wonderful institution. I was on the dean's list.
Were you? Mm-hmm. That's good stuff.
And a double major.
Here's but real talk. UW should be getting some votes. They are getting votes. They're 6-2. They have 1 loss to obviously Ohio State. They beat number 23 Illinois. I was trying to look and try to make sense of this, right? Oklahoma 6-2. They lost to Texas and Ole Miss, but they beat number 15 Michigan at the time.
I was doing
and
the same
Auburn,
exercise.
number 22, right? Missouri 6-2, lost to number 8 Bama and number 10 Vandy. No big wins, right? But they're in the SEC. They get more love. You got Michigan 6-2, lost to Oklahoma. They were 18 at the time in SC. And you have SC. It's just, I'm trying to make sense of the logic.
It's the loss to Michigan.
And right, it's the loss to Michigan. And if you just watch, I don't think a lot of people are watching this team play. DeMond Williams is one of the more exciting quarterbacks in the game. You see that 3rd and 18 run he had against Illinois, ran a dude over, spun out that thing. I think they aren't getting the benefit of the doubt, and they just got to run the table. I see them possibly winning 9 games this year. You do finish the season with Oregon. They can go 9-3. If they can upset Oregon, if they can do that, you're definitely in. But 1 less loss. If they were 7-1 right now, I think they'd be in the mix.
You know what's a bummer is I was doing the same thing where I was looking at the SEC teams that are 6-2, and there are no unranked 6-2 SEC teams. And the Michigan one is kind of the one that's standing out there, because even though Michigan were they unranked or 25?
They were ranked.
Ranked still when you played them.
Mm-hmm.
By you, I mean
23.
we.
I forgot what they were.
Late 20s, but they were 15 when Oklahoma played them. I really do think, very clearly, if you were only a 1-loss team, you'd still be ranked, but it was the way that they lost. Very pronounced way. It was Williams' worst game. Bunch of turnovers.
And it happened so quick. They were in the game.
Yes.
And in 3 series, and they were out of it.
And then the benefit of those SEC teams, because no 6-2 SEC teams are unranked, is that wins they have are still against ranked opponents.
Yep.
It's just
Need some help.
But number 8, only 7 research institutions ahead of us.
Go get it.
The Seahawks didn't play in week 8, but they're still one of our winners from the weekend. But why is one of our losers a team that won? That's next.
Wyman and Bob.
It's going to take a bit for this team, I think, to get past this moment.
Every afternoon at 2.
To be that close, and you were just steps away, and you came up short. Some of them sat in that dugout and watched the Jays out there celebrating, and they're going to use that as fuel.
You're never going to be happy unless you win the last game, right?
Yeah,
but
somebody's always going home disappointed, and hopefully it's the Blue Jays.
Yeah, that'll be easy to root for the Dodgers.
Plus, they've got my favorite non-Mariner, Mookie.
Oh, that's right, Mookie.
Love Mookie.
Only on Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports on YouTube.
Why is K2 Vision RLE a permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers? How is it that you'll never develop a cataract after K2 Vision RLE? And how is RLE different from LASIK?
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. We'll answer those questions and others when you join us for our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Andy, what are some of the other questions you hear?
Well, how long is the procedure and recovery? Or who's a good candidate for RLE?
And we'll also answer, how much does RLE cost? Is there financing available? Does insurance pay for RLE?
Find out how K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers.
And cataracts too.
Right, no more cataracts.
K2 Vision's free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Space will be limited, so register now at k2visionrle.com.
Join us at our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Sign up at k2visionrle.com.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/sports. QUO.com/sports.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results, receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. Right now, Revive Men's Health Washington is offering a comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value for just $99. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends November 30th. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
Selling cars is a really easy business. It's complicated by really bad dealers. And why do we do that? Well, because we think that the less information we give, and the more that we can dictate it on our terms, the more profitable we'll be. And what we found is that this is the exact opposite. The easier we make it, the more information we give, the more comfortable customers are in doing business with us. Now, that one transaction, we might make a little bit less on, but it's not the one. It's that one that leads to the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth. It's not the one individual. He's like, but you never get to the spouse, the parents, the kids, the friends, if you don't take care of them first.
It's not a script. It's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right. We are going to get back to the Mariners plenty during the show, but especially in our conversation with Adam Jude coming up at 1 p.m., also at 12:45. Going to go some Seahawks and NFL here, though, because even though the Seahawks did not play this weekend, we still have them as one of our winners from the weekend. So let's go over our winners and losers from the Seahawks bye week. Bump, who are one of your winners from week 8?
One of my winner chicken dinners is going to be my man Jordan Love, man. You know, this was my preseason MVP.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, he's at top of his division right now. He threw for 363 touchdowns, first in the North, and he beat the big homie. You know, he's sat behind Aaron Rodgers for a couple of years and got to watch him work. And we know the history of quarterbacks at Green Bay. You go from Brett Favre for 100 years to Aaron Rodgers for 100 years, and hopefully Jordan Love gets his. So I thought this was big for him. I felt they would win this ball game, but for him to outperform the big homie, 363 touchdowns, I thought Jordan Love was a winner.
Yeah, massive, obviously, second half, but that fourth quarter, man, just really took off. It's like Jordan Love came out of the locker room and was like, oh, yeah. I forgot. I can absolutely dice this defense up. Let's go. Okay, I had one of my winners, this being a team that actually did win, Justin Fields and the Jets. The Jets get their first win of the season, 39-38 over the Bengals. Congratulations, Jets. They had to overcome a deficit themselves, 17-3. It looked for a minute there in the first half like, oh, the Jets, there they go again. This is just a horrible team, a horrible season for them. And you felt so horrible for Justin Fields. The owner of the Jets, Woody Johnson, on the record, took a shot at Justin Fields. Justin Fields is probably feeling absolutely awful. And then post-game talked about quieting the noise of the week.
I'm going to get pretty vulnerable right here, but this week I found myself in my closet crying on the ground, laying down, not because of the hardships, not because of the troubles. I felt like, you know, I was built to handle that and I was put in place to handle this situation. But in that moment when I was talking to my best friend, you know, how hard it was and just, you know, not wavering faith-wise. I just had gotten a text from my sister and my stepmom, and it was just an encouraging text on, you know, just keep going and keep spreading the faith. And it was just a sign from God for me to keep going and that, you know, I'm in the right place. Yesterday, I was just praying over and over and over again, like, yo, like, just one win.
Don't you dare make fun of Justin Fields.
I ain't making fun of him.
Justin, get behind me.
I ain't making fun of him. Hey, whatever it takes, man. You go to your faith, the people you love, tap in, and I was happy for him, man. I was happy for Justin Fields, of course. I was happy for Coach Glenn as well. You can see the excitement on his face after getting that W. He's flexing on the sideline with his dudes, and it was a battle, man. It was a shootout, 38-39. So, yeah, good for the Jets. You're still not making the playoffs. Still got a lot of work to do, but at least you got that W.
Another winner?
Another winner. I got Saquon Barkley finally had himself a big game, 150 yards. Before this, week 2 was his prior season high with 88 yards. Nice to see Barkley get his. And at the same time, Jalen Hurts got it to the receivers with 4 passing touchdowns himself. The Eagles and the Chiefs are teams that I don't worry about, right? People are talking about the struggles, the relationships. I understand it. You don't ignore it. But when you have the foundation that both of these teams have, you feel like eventually they're going to figure it out.
I'm going to add on and say, like, one of my winners of the weekend were running backs. So Saquon Barkley had a massive game. Jonathan Taylor had a big game. Derrick Henry had 2 rushing touchdowns for Baltimore. And then James Cook ran for 216. The Bills leading the league in rushing yards per game. Running backs had a really good weekend, probably because so many of these games were blowouts.
Yeah.
So they were like, just hand the ball off. Okay, I have just one more winner, Visors. This was a big weekend for Visors, namely because Tua Tagovailoa entered the Dolphins game against the Falcons with some kind of eye issue. His eye was swollen shut, and so he had to wear a visor during the game. He threw for 4 touchdowns. So I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that Visors very clearly 4 touchdowns. You had thrown 3 interceptions in each of the last 2 games until you wore a visor. visors are back in a big way, and visors were one of the winners of the weekend.
Good for visors, man. I remember when I got my first smoke gray 60% tint visor, you couldn't tell me nothing. I was the coldest brother on the football field.
It's just truly, and you have to live up to it. Like, if Tua were to wear this visor and then throw 4 interceptions, you can't.
Take that off.
You have to take it off. But 4 touchdowns with a visor on, that's just, it's phenomenal.
Yep.
Okay. Are you ready to get to some losers?
One more. I want to highlight this kid. Tony Franklin, the receiver out of Oregon, had his first 2-touchdown game. He had 2 touchdowns all of last season, has 4 this year. Broncos improved to 6-2. I don't think they're sneaking up on anyone, but they're not getting the attention that they probably deserve.
Agree. Absolutely agree. 44 points on the Cowboys. Holy cow. Okay. Losers.
Losers, man. Caleb Williams, you had an opportunity. I was counting on you. You had an opportunity to play the Ravens without Lamar and didn't throw a touchdown, didn't throw an interception. They just wasted an opportunity. They're coming off of 4 wins. This wouldn't have legitimized them because obviously Lamar's not there, but it would have made people pay attention a bit more to what's going on in Chicago. I was disappointed. I thought they missed a moment here.
Yeah, they sure did, especially when you were championing them heading into this one.
Both of my upsets were
absolutely devastating. Okay, so my tease was that the Seahawks were one of the winners of the weekend. That's because the 49ers were one of the losers. The 49ers and their injuries were one of the losers of the weekend. They quite literally lost the game, so that's a bummer, but they also lost the game in a way that was deeply frustrating. Kyle Shanahan called their first half absolutely unacceptable. It was punt, punt, punt. They didn't even get a first down until late in the first half. It's just, again, the Texans are a tough defense, and the 49ers are very injured. They're very banged up, but I think that what it may look like to a lot of 49ers fans right now is, oh my God, what if this is a little bit closer to the version that they might be with this many injuries? So loser from the weekend.
It was bound to catch you, man. You know, you lost to a good Buccaneers team.
Horrible luck.
But the Texans, they're a good football team. So it didn't surprise me at all.
Another loser from the weekend.
Genty. When are we going to see Genty really take off? Granted, he only had 6 carries. The Raiders as a whole only ran the ball 11 times. He had 6 carries for 21 yards. It is just tough in Vegas right now. It is tough. And I know people can look at Genty as a bust up to this point, but you need help. You need an offensive lineman. You need a pass game that's reliable to help out when it comes to guys loading in on the box. I'm feeling for Genty right now because I watch him, and there are subtle moments where I think there it is. Okay, I can see it in him. But not consistent, and people are going to start talking a bit more if he doesn't have a breakout game here.
I don't want to say that Cam Scatterbo is a loser of the weekend. I'll say that the Giants and their fans are losers in a very sad way, and that they lost a pretty exciting rookie. Cam Scatterbo suffered a dislocation, had to undergo surgery last night. Not officially out for the season, but we all saw his ankle turn sideways. I think we can all assume what's happening here. Credit to him for holding up his arms as though it's like, all right, help me up. I'm going to just walk this one off.
Yeah, he tried to get up.
That man is insane.
You got to sit down. You see the lineman going crazy. Like, y'all got to come out here quick.
And he just holds up his arms.
He's a G for
Adrenaline has to be crazy in that moment. It's a bummer. That's not like a loser, like shame on you. It's like oh man, like maybe we're all kind of losers because anytime exciting players are done for the season, it's a bummer. The Giants having lost Malik Neighbors and Cam Scatterbo is just a bummer for them.
Yeah, that's tough, man. Scatterbo was the personality of that team. He was a leader out there already offensively, only as a rookie. So when you lose a guy like that, that's definitely going to hurt.
Okay, I have one tiny. Do you have another?
No, what you got?
Okay, the last one I have was, again, from my tease when I said a team that won was still a loser. I'm not saying the Bucs are losers. I mean, they quite literally won, so good for them. And it was a pretty dominant fashion, 23-3 over the Saints. But that was also because the defense was lights out. The defense had a pick six, a dominant-looking pick six, just bodied Spencer Rattler. But the Bucs offense, which had been so fun and so great over so much of the season, was not really the story here. And maybe that's because they've lost some players due to injury. Maybe it's because Baker Mayfield is playing hurt. But I had as a loser from the weekend, even though the Bucs got a big win, a blowout win over the Saints, it feels like the offense has kind of quieted in 2 weeks. And that's a problem for a team that wanted to lean on that as like a real contender and for an MVP campaign that Baker Mayfield was having. So loser from the weekend. Okay. Old school is new again in the NFL, and we're not just talking about a heavy run game. Matt Hasselbeck was on Brock and Salk this morning explaining why the Seahawks feel like a throwback team right now, and Bump's going to tell us why that's happening next.
It's the Hawks Player Spotlight.
tight end A.J. Barner is with us. How are you, man?
Doing well. Good to be on here.
Brought to you by Three Tree Roofing.
The rookie on this O-line, Gray Zabel, is with us.
Sam is an elite quarterback.
Going deep with a different Hawks player every day at 3:30 with Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports.
Every time he walks into a huddle, we know we got a chance for a big play.
Nick Eamon-Wari is with us.
I felt good physically going into the game.
Catch up on every Hawks spotlight on Seattle Sports on YouTube and the Seattle Sports app.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in Seattle. And our more than 95 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Lowe's knows pros want more. Join My Lowe's Pro Rewards for free to get $20 off your first qualifying purchase of $100 or more just for signing up. Plus, enjoy free standard shipping and more ways to save on your next job. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer valid for new members only. Not valid with any other discount. Free standard shipping not available in Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/pro loyalty for details. Subject to change.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
The holidays are here, full of joy, family, friends, and yes, a little hustle and bustle. That's why you need Aleve. Between cooking, shopping, and all those extra errands, aches and pains can sneak in. Aleve is here to help with long-lasting body pain relief. Don't let body pain slow you down. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, you can keep up with the season's magic and all that awaits. Pick up Aleve and get back to what really matters, making memories. Use as directed.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. Touchdown! Seahawks! Ken Walker III! Get everything Seahawks at seattlesports.com.
At Bible Law Group, we know how important voting is. That's why we're partnering with Seattle's own rock star Aaron Jones to rock the vote Thursday, October 30th at the Queen Anne Beer Hall. Vote and enjoy delicious smash burgers with Aaron and local bands by getting your ticket at bit.ly/BibleRock. If you've misplaced your ballot, don't panic. In Washington, you can still print a provisional ballot online and drop it in any official ballot box by November 4th. When prayer just ain't cutting it for your legal needs, we suggest two things: vote and call Bible Law Group.
Lake Washington Windows was voted best in the Northwest. Celebrate by saving 25% off new Leak Armor installed windows through October. Plus enjoy 0 down, 0 payments, 0 interest until 2026. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com, a name you can trust.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Mike Salk here, and it's now open. Hawks Peak, the place to be for game days this football season with over 66 TVs indoor and outdoor. Go to snocasino.com. Seattle's closest is Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with 0 investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Old school is new again. Bump here is going to explain why the Seahawks feel like a throwback offense. This morning, Matt Hasselbeck was on Brock and Salk talking about this very topic. Here's a bit of what he said about seeing maybe some of Holmgren's offense in Kubiak's.
Yeah, well, it's back in style. That's the funny thing. Even when we did it in Seattle, I think it went out of style and then came back in style, and now it's back in style again. We were popping guards, we'd missed the trend. And so when people were coming with crazy third down blitzes on first and second down out of an odd front, meaning both guards are uncovered, we never stopped popping guards. The Seahawks have this great rhythm now where it's all this check with me stuff. We can be 2 tight ends. We can be in a fullback, but we're under center just as much as anybody right now.
And he said young defenders aren't prepared to face that.
I think a lot of the young defensive players in the league that have grown up in this spread, going against spread offenses and stuff like that, they don't have time on task. They don't have hours defending and reading run game from under center with play actions and bloody nose flats and all the different things that we did 30 years ago, 20 years ago, even 10 years ago. It's really coming on strong right now. And I think I give Mike McDonald the credit because he had a vision for this. He had a vision for this when he retooled the offense, coaching staff and players, of what he wanted to be offensively and how it would complement the defense.
We have the benefit of having someone who also played in that offense and has covered the league in depth since then. So what's the old school offense? Again, we can fill in the blanks. We all know, but it's helpful to have Bump explain it. The old school kind of throwback offense, why did it go away? How's it back now? How are the Seahawks taking advantage of it?
The old school offense is under center, 2 tight ends, running back, throw a fullback in there at times, 7-step drops from under center, getting guys across the field horizontally in the pass concepts, heavy on the play action, because you think of the origins of football, it's just running the football. The pass evolved out of it because guys were packing in the box, and it was hard to get the gains that used to get him. So old school football, to me, it's just football at its finest, honestly, because it gives more things for the defense to worry about. Now you gotta read your key. It's a tight end down blocking. Now he's releasing. There's a play action. Quarterback's back is to the defense. You can't see the ball. He rolls out. Does he have the football? No, he doesn't. He hands the football off. It's just, and when you think of deception too, think of anyone who runs like a wing T offense. If you see these high schools like Bellevue and I think it's Timberline or something like that who runs these wing T offenses, they have linemen that are 165, 175 pounds. The reason why it works is because of the deception. It's the down blocking here. It's the tight end going the opposite direction. It's the quarterback rolling out. It's the running back following the tight end. It gives you more to look at. In a spread offense, it's pretty cut and dry. Spread out in 2-by-2 formation. Quarterback is in shotgun. Running back is to the right or the left of him. Linebackers can see what's going on. No, it's not a run. I'm going to drop back. I'm going to get into space. And I think that football is at its best, honestly, when your quarterback's under center, your play action, you're faking and all that good stuff. But why did it go to the spread? It went to the spread because there were guys like Brian Urlacher back in the day, 6'4", 260 pounds, middle linebacker just blowing stuff up. Ray Lewis. Linebackers were bigger and stronger and smart as heck. So they're reading their keys, they're getting downhill. So what do? You try to find your mismatches. So say even your outside linebacker, your weak side or your strong side or whatnot. Those guys were still bigger type of dudes. So what do? You get your running back out there into the pass, into the formation. So now that linebacker has to come over or that safety has to come down. Strong safeties looked a bit different back in the day. I have the advantage. Running backs, slots, and tight ends influence the spread. You're looking for matchups. So now why is it getting packed in? Because these linebackers, I mean, we had a linebacker drafted a couple years ago, plays for Pittsburgh now. I forgot, out of North Carolina State. I forgot his name. He ran a 4.3. Linebacker running a 4.3. You want to play this game?
All of a sudden, necks were back.
Exactly. Like I don't have to change my personnel package completely because you came out in a certain formation. I got a running back or a linebacker and safeties who can run with your guy. What do? Now you pack it back in. It's just offense is trying to counter the personnel of the defense, and I think that's why it's back. And it gives you higher percentage throws. Like you look at most of the throws that Sam Darnold has. I mean, guys aren't super wide open. This is the NFL. Every now and then guys are wide open, but they have an advantage. How many times have we seen JSN running across the field with a step on a guy? Guy's 1 yard behind him, and everything else is cleared out, right? Because you've deceived the defense. You were under center. You faked the handoff. You rolled out. You got a tight end going the opposite. He takes the safety with him. Bam, JSN is wide open. It's all deception, and it's back, and I love it.
I think I just loved it for a while there in 2017. And again, this was at the time. It's not like it was misguided. At the time, this was leading the Rams to be one of the most successful teams in the NFL, but that the use of 11 personnel was just kind of something that absolutely took off, and we were all having conversations about maybe running back value isn't really there. And there was a little bit of a truth to running backs are injury prone. You can find a pretty good running back in the 5th round. You may not have to get a running back, second overall anymore. Like long gone are those days when you're taking a high 1st round pick on a running back. And then you've seen it evolve to where I want to say, ironically, Sean McVay's Rams are now using 12 personnel a ton and heavy formations a ton.
Because you have to match up. You come out in 11 personnel. You come out in 12 personnel. You're not going to have your nickel out there. Maybe you have a nickel back who is a tackler, who's big. I think that's why a guy like Nicky Morware is so vital, too, because he's a bigger guy. He can cover, and he can play in space. And let's not sleep on Spoon either. I think we've missed Spoon because he's a smaller guy who can cover and who can tackle as well. I also went back and looked at just how pass attempts have changed. In 2004, there were 7 QBs with over 500 pass attempts, and the max that year was 557. Let's go to, say, 2020, 5 years ago. 15 quarterbacks over 500 pass attempts, 626 was the max. So you're throwing the ball a bit more because of your matchups, and slowly but surely it's coming back. And you got to look at the influence in the league, too. There's always a couple coaches who have a coaching tree that just spreads throughout the league. And right now it's Shanahan and McVay. You look at most of these offenses who are under center, who are running the play action, all that stuff, a lot of them come from the Shanahan tree and the McVay tree. And McVay was under Shanahan over there with DC back in the day. Yep. It's, the NFL is nothing but trends and matchups.
Okay, I lied. Rams still using 11 personnel quite a bit. Seahawks, though, with 11 personnel just 36% of the time.
Yep.
Which is just...
That's fine.
It's just funny because it used to be something where it's like, how old school as like an insult. But at the time, it would hurt you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you would have been running into the strength of an offense at the time doing that. Whereas using a spread offense, a ton of 11 personnel did help you a lot in 2017-18.
Real quick before we go to, this is how the game has evolved too, right? We are under center a bit more. Your play action, you're going across the field, but the route concepts are different too. Like receivers have more freedom. Quarterbacks and receivers have more freedoms to adjust. You adjust your route based off of what the defense is giving you. Whereas back in my day, you just ran the dang route. So now there's more knowledge out there too. Quarterbacks have more freedom to change things, and receivers have more side adjustments.
All right, sticking with the Seahawks radio network analyst Bryan Walters joining us next.
Wyman and Bob.
It's going to take a bit for this team, I think, to get past this moment.
Every afternoon at 2.
You know, to be that close, and you were just steps away, and you came up short. Some of them sat in that dugout and watched the Jays out there celebrating, and they're going to use that as fuel.
You're never going to be happy unless you win the last game, right?
Yeah,
but
somebody's always going home disappointed, and hopefully it's the Blue Jays.
Yeah, that'll be easy to root for the Dodgers.
Plus, they've got my favorite non-Mariner, Mookie.
Oh, that's
Betts.
right, Mookie.
Love Mookie.
Only on Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports on YouTube.
Matt Coker here with West Coast Men's Health. In the past 5 years, we've seen thousands of men at our clinics. Most guys tell us the same story, that in their early 50s, it's not that they couldn't function, they just needed help. They started taking Viagra, and it worked great at first. But after a few years, it stopped working. The problem is that their arteries had become more restricted since they started taking it, because Viagra does not unclog arteries. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we use acoustic wave therapy to target the real problem. We break down plaque and clear up the arteries so blood can flow like it did in your 20s. This restores function. And guys, listen to this. You won't have to take a pill anymore. So if this sounds like you, give West Coast Men's Health a call today and see how we can help.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here with Luke Wilson, a local owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
Thanks, Rick. Just like October baseball, Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington is stepping up to the plate. Mention Go Seattle when you schedule, and you'll score 15% off, plus 12 months with no payments and no interest. This is your chance to swing big. This offer won't be around for extra innings.
Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Ryan Roland Smith here. For more than 35 years, the NBA Health Insurance Trust has been helping local builders, contractors, and their employees save money and gain peace of mind. They offer customized group health plans from the state's leading insurance providers. Small and mid-sized businesses deserve big healthcare access. The NBA Health Trust brings you the coverage you want at a price you can trust. Find out more at MBAHealthTrust.com. That's MBAHealthTrust.com.
Coach Saban here. On the field or on your walls, coverage matters. That's why I go with Behr Marquee Interior Paint and Primer from the Home Depot.
Exceptional hide, advanced stain blocking, and over 1,000 colors to choose from. Behr Marquee delivers one-coat coverage that stands up to real life. One-coat coverage. No overtime. Behr Marquee, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Valid only when tinted to colors from the Behr Marquee Interior One Coat Hide Collection.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiter's experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/sports. QUO.com/sports.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Rams and Titans have made the first trade ahead of November's midseason deadline. The Rams acquired cornerback Roger McCreary from Tennessee for a conditional 5th or 6th round pick swap. McCreary's in the final year of his rookie deal and plays primarily in the slot. The Chiefs and Commanders face off tonight for Monday Night Football. Marcus Mariota will start for an injured Jaden Daniels. Elsewhere, World Series Game 3 picks up today in L.A. Series tied up at 1 apiece. Max Scherzer on the mound for the Blue Jays. Tyler Glasnow on the hill for the Dodgers.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Seahawks Radio Network analyst Bryan Walters joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Bryan, the Seahawks were fortunate enough to have a bye and rest up before they take on the Commanders for Sunday night. We're going to be able to get a look at the Commanders ahead of time Monday night against the Chiefs tonight. You favoring them against Kansas City before we get this one started, or you think Kansas City's going to roll on an injured Commanders team?
Injured Commanders team, but getting some strength back. McLaurin should be back tonight. Debo's back full force tonight. I know they lost Austin Eckler for the year. Jane Daniels battling the injury, and unfortunately, I think he will be back next week. It seems like Dan Quinn has noted it's not really a severe hamstring strain or whatever it is, and they're just being very cautious with it. So he'll have to miss tonight. We can see Marcus Mariota in action, but I think it'll be a completely different Commanders team next week when Jane Daniels is back, because you know what he brings and they're number 2 in the league in rushing. A lot of that is because of him, but we won't see that tonight. But getting Terry McLaurin back is huge for them, and I think getting a game under his belt and then taking on the Seahawks next week is only advantageous for the Commanders.
Hey, what are you looking to see coming out of the bye week for these Seahawks? Anything specific?
Well, for starters, since we're on the health concern, it's kind of just keeping guys on the field more consistently, which is what everyone wants to see throughout the league. It's tough, but I feel like the Seahawks, 49ers, the Commanders, they're all kind of teams that have been bit more so by the injury bug than a lot of others. Unfortunately for the Seahawks, it's haven't been that serious of injuries. You haven't lost guys for the year yet. Knock on wood. I hope everyone's doing it. So that's it. Keeping your, especially on defense. We have yet to see this defense with every single starter out there. Every guy that we had thought about, that we planned on having this whole offseason, we have yet to see the full force, because Imanwari got hurt first possession of the 49ers of week 1. Mm-hmm. And then after that, nothing's really lined up. So I think that's what I'm most excited about. Is it seems like Sunday night, next Sunday night game against Commanders, that's when we'll see this defense kind of full force again, which is pretty cool. But as far as football is concerned, I think the defense has been spectacular. I just want to see them keep going, keep striding, they're getting a reputation. I don't know if you watched the game last night, the Sunday night game, but Collinsworth was just talking about how the Seahawks are just this hard-hitting crew, just that put a beating on teams. And I was like, nice. That's a cool reputation to have. When a guy's saying how excited he is to see the Seahawks in action for the first time because of this reputation they have and what they've done so far. So I think that's pretty cool. So keep doing that. And offensively, I think what I'd like to see is just kind of putting the dagger in teams when it's there in front of you. I know you've had a couple opportunities late in the game you could be 7-0 if you win the game late in the fourth quarter with a couple last-minute drives. You could do that. You could be 7-0. Last week against the Texans, there were so many times that game should have been 40-0. It felt like, or 40-10 maybe. You'll give them some points, but it just felt like the game was just so lopsided for what the score actually was. And you look at those and a couple, the interception on the trick play to put them away, and I think there was a couple penalties. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, and the other play that kind of kept him out of the end zone and really making that game out of reach, almost like the Saints game earlier in the year. It had the feeling of being like that. So I think that just a couple, be able to throw that last second jab, that knockout punch offensively, and then defense just continue to get better and better as they have all year.
I think what I'm looking at offensively is also just hope that the run game takes off. And maybe I was kind of green with envy watching so many running backs this weekend. James Cook rushed for 216. Derrick Henry had 2 rushing touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor had a great day for Indy with 3 touchdowns of his own combined. Saquon, obviously, Bump mentioned earlier, getting over 100 for the first time this year. And I'm looking at Seattle and I'm going, God, this offense has been so spectacular in so many ways. And JSN is having a fantastic season, but I can't help feeling like eventually they will have to turn to the run, and that'll have to be how they win a game. And I don't know that my confidence is there yet that they can do it. What are you seeing when it comes to the run? And are you seeing improvements, importantly?
Well, yeah, I'm seeing improvements, but also I'm not making a big a deal of the run game, the average yards per carry, as most people, I don't think, because what I look at is just the way Kubiak stuck to the run, no matter what. He's just kind of he's accepted those little 1-2 yard runs, whatever it is. And then Bump, I think, when was it? Last week, I was listening to you guys. Great show, by the way. Love it. And Bump, you pointed out, and this was fascinating to me, that they're almost one of the most explosive run teams in the league. Do you remember when they're like third in the league in most explosive runs, or something along those lines?
K9's tied for the most explosive runs in the league right now with 5.
See, so to me, like, that's showing something, because you're committing to the run, you're making teams have to respect the run, and then when you can throw in some explosive runs in there, then it makes them worry about it even more, and then you throw in this play action, and this team's all about the play action, and that's what's created so much space for JSN as well. Now, JSN has been an incredible route runner, hands, everything, but I don't think it's to the level that it has been without this run game, this commitment to the run game, or else you're seeing more like what you saw last year, where you're having your quarterback, in the case last year, Geno, try to drop back 40, 50 times a game with no fear of the run game, and teams just able to kind of pin their ears back and rush him and drop back and cover everything. So it's, even though the run game hasn't looked that pretty, and people want to see the big chunks at a time, 6-7 yarders, and just move down the field, it's done its purpose. And that's what I like about it. And I also think that this offensive line is still kind of getting used to the new scheme and some of these run block angles that they have to get to. Some of these wide zone, really having to stretch the outside. A lot of it has got to be some timing and feel for them, and I still think they're getting the hang of that. And I hope that as the season continues, you start to see teams, especially later, wear down. And when you're still running the ball 25, 30 times a game, you're going to start popping a lot more and more. And I think it'll just continue to go as the season goes.
AB, I think our era of football, when you and I were coming up in high school and college, the spread was it, right? You wanted to be in 2x2, 3x1, empty. And it was because of matchups. You felt like we have the matchups. And the game has changed a bit. And as the game has changed and I've gotten older as a coach and as an analyst, I appreciate them packing it in and running the football and the play action or whatnot. I gave my reasons as to why I think that teams are kind of leaning on that style of play a bit more. Why do you think teams are going that way?
I think it's the Eagles' influence. I think it's the success that the Eagles have had over the past 5 seasons, where they've really showed that you don't need to be throwing the ball 30, 40, 50 times a game, because, Jalen Hurts, he wants to run the ball. They don't want to use his arm all the time. He can get it done, but they have had so much success with just getting the trenches dialed in. I mean, they have one of the best offensive lines in the league and defensive lines in the league as well, and starting the old school mentality, as you were talking about, kind of getting back to that just that hard-nosed football, and the Eagles have done it. That's their formula. That's what they want to do. They want to control the clock. They want to give it to Saquon Barkley all the time. They don't have that 1-2 running back punch that you see all across the league. And I really think, since this league is a copycat league, and maybe it was the Patriots before that kind of influenced this passing, getting all the short throws, slot receivers, crossers, drags, all that stuff that the Patriots did with Tom Brady and throwing the ball like that. That was kind of an influence. And then now you're seeing the Eagles having so much success with this hard-nosed game. So now teams are starting to be like, okay, hold on, like let's call timeout here. Maybe we don't need to do this. Let's get this run game. So it's all copycat league. It's whoever's having the most success right then at the time. I think teams are trying to mirror that, especially as new coaches come up and are always trying to take notes and see what's going on there.
Maybe it's because the Seahawks are off to a really promising start that I'm not looking at the team going, God, there's a very obvious area of need. But we've seen one move ahead of the trade deadline, the Rams acquiring some cornerback help from the Tennessee Titans. Seahawks have had success with midseason trade moves. Do you anticipate they make one before the November 4th deadline?
That's it. I don't. And I feel like you should always bet on the opposite of what I think on this, because every time I say they're not going to make a move, they do, and they make a move, they don't. But I don't see them making a huge move, because I don't think they will get, the rumor has been Reek, right? Reek Woolen trading, what his trade value is, and are they going to try to do it? I just don't think they're going to get what they would want for him. I don't know what some team is going to look and say, well, Reek hasn't really performed to his ultimate ability since his rookie year. Why would I, what would I want for that? Or what can I give up for that? Not a lot. And then, so there's going to be a lot of that. I don't think they're going to get what they want from Reek. So I don't see that happening. Maybe a move with the offensive line. I think they've been fortunate to kind of be pretty healthy, but maybe get a little bit of guard depth or guard help for, just a little consistency, maybe to get a little boost in the run game. But I think that's tough mid-season to have a guard come in and have to learn a whole new scheme and, run game but then if they're smart, they'll probably trade for a guy that already knows this kind of scheme, has been in a Kubiak system before and done that. So, no. So my short answer is no. I don't see him making a big move. But could it happen? Probably. Everything's on the table.
What do you think of the wide? Actually, you know what? I'm gonna switch mine up. Tyler Lockett to the Raiders. What do you think about that move?
Good for him. He's going to be somewhere where he's comfortable. Going to play with Pete. Pete loves him, and as he should, because we saw what those two have done, throughout the years in Seattle. I think it's good for him. Why not? It's interesting that he'd ask for a release, but the Titans that would be tough. I think going from an organization, they're so bad. They're going from an organization. I kind of experienced this. Now, Tyler Lockett's on a whole different level than I was, right? But going from the Seahawks, going from the Super Bowl years to the Jacksonville Jaguars, it was like, oh my gosh, like this is so different and not as fun, that's for sure. And I feel like that's kind of what Lockett's going through. He went from years of success with the Seahawks, you're always in it, you're always making a run, to this Titans team that's just completely rebuilding, dealing with a rookie quarterback, trying to learn what he's all about. And he's just like, I'm too old for this. Like, let me go play with a quarterback I know. And him and Geno, their chemistry they have together. So it's good for him. Hopefully he can get some good games, because we're always rooting for Tyler Lockett.
All right. He is Seahawks radio network analyst Bryan Walters, kind enough to join us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Thanks, Bryan.
Thanks, Beat.
Hey, thanks. See ya.
It's a Reaction Monday powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Very quickly before we get to 4 Down territory, what did you think of Ryan's answer to the run game? I was actually a little surprised. I thought he'd be like, yeah, they really need to shore this up. They really need to get better there. You're going to get into the colder months, right? Like, it's just kind of this football thing that we all assume of, like, you need to be able to run the ball late. But he said the run game is doing its job.
It is. I mean, there's a reason why Sam Darnold and JSN have the most explosive connection in football right now.
Yeah.
Because they're good. JSN can run routes and catch, and Sam Darnold can do his thing. Kubiak's calling up the offense, great. But it's because of the influence. It's the run steps linebackers have to take. It's the eyes of the safety. I mean, it all works together. You're still waiting for it to look differently, to
more
have
100
yards by K9 and have those explosive runs, even though before this week, K9 was tied for the league lead in explosive runs. He's probably second or third now because they didn't play. But no, because it's bigger than just we want to see K9 going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
When you are committed to the run and you do just enough, it makes the defense have to respect it. And that's all you want, respect the run, because it opens up pass lanes.
All right.
But I'll take 150, 200 on the ground, though.
Oh, I'll happily take
Please.
150 from K9 or Zach. You know what I mean? Either one. I'll take that.
Come on.
Let's get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, what did you like about the start of the game in New England?
I ain't even talking about football here.
Okay.
All right? Since 2001, the New England Patriots have never introduced players individually before the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that blew my mind because there's something special about it. I remember when I was playing, me and Bryan were talking about this the other day, actually. The one game I knew I was going to start, I go, oh, my name's about to be called. I'm running out the tunnel. Nah, they switched it to defense that day. I was so mad.
You're devastated.
Bryan the same way. He had his opportunity.
Yeah.
They switched it over to defense. It's almost like they're like, nah, we got these two starting, man. Let's make sure Lofa and them get all the shine and the glory.
Lofa, you got so many intros, man.
Lofa got enough, man.
You're a star.
3-time Pro Bowler, man. Goodness gracious. But I thought about the guy who maybe will only start 5-6 games in this league, and you get your name called, you run out the tunnel. It's a special feeling. When I watch those guys before the Seahawks game get their names called, they run out the tunnel. It's like a gladiator type of moment, right? You feel the energy. So I was happy for those dudes. I can't believe it. Good old Grumpy Belichick said, nah, we're a team. We're running out together. I understand that.
Yeah.
But this is the NFL. You want to sell jerseys. You want to get the crowd hype. I'm glad Drake May finally got his name called running out there. He's playing like an MVP candidate. It means more than what people might understand. It might sound selfish as I'm saying, oh, I wanted my name called.
No.
But it gets you fired up, man. And I'm happy they got to experience it.
Well, and for anyone who's seen that in person, first of all, it's far more the norm than not. It doesn't make a player more selfish or not. I mean, we've seen that's always how they do it here in Seattle. Did that make this team more selfish? No. But I do the same thing where I always I still remember this. It'll be like when Ryan Neal came up and was like filling in for, God, who was it?
Was safety.
Thomas, was it?
Who was it? It might have been Tedrick, huh?
Tedrick? I don't know. But filling in had just been called up from a practice squad, and you get a run in and your name is announced.
Yeah.
And so anytime it's been guys where it's this might be the only time, or maybe it's the first time. Maybe it's Derek Hall getting his first regular start or whatever, which has long since happened. But you just feel really cool. It feels cool for that guy. You feel good for him.
Awesome.
So good for them. Second down. What will inevitably get better this week for the Seahawks?
Pass defense. It will get better. It has to get better. I assume Jaden Daniels will probably play against the Seahawks. We shall see. He's recovering. We just heard Brian Walters talk about how McLaurin is back, Debo is back. This pass defense has to be better, and they have to be better tacklers, and Julian Love is a better tackler. Witherspoon is a good tackler as well. I think that's the next step for this defense is one, recover a dang fumble. You pointed out last week they haven't done that.
Only defense not to.
Turn the ball over and be better in the pass. Because we feel like with that front four, they're going to be able to get pressure. Even if it is Jaden Daniels back there running around, doing all his circus tricks. You got to be good on the back end because there are explosive plays to be made. McLaurin, that's all he does. 1,000-yard season, don't matter who's quarterback back there. Debo Samuels, we know how explosive he is. So, yes, the pass defense is going to get better. You're going to see some 3 safety looks. You're going to see Spoon on the outside. You'll see him at the nickel spot. It allows him to be a bit more versatile. Ty Okada's done a great job. Bell has done a great job. But it looks a bit different when you have your ones in there. So with J-Love being back after 4 or 5 weeks, which is crazy, Spoon being back as well, these guys will be better. They're averaging 230 yards. I believe they're giving them, which is around 20-something in the NFL. It will get better. It has to get better.
Well, and also, so much of turnovers is luck. And even though you can see a correlation between typically pretty good teams that don't turn the ball over and then take the ball away, there are also teams that are maybe kind of middling and then really excel there because they get some turnover luck. The Bears won 4 in a row and had 15 takeaways in those games. Didn't get those turnovers in this past game against the Ravens, and all of a sudden it's, I guess this team is much better when they're able to get those turnovers and take advantage of it. So I would think you're right. That luck just kind of eventually shifts naturally. It just kind of progresses towards the mean. Third down. Who's a player we won't see in 2025?
Shedeur Sanders. You won't see him. He's going to sit the bench the rest of the year. I think Dylan Gabriel is doing enough to make these guys want to keep developing him, and which is fine. I think for Shedeur, that's probably the best case scenario anyway. You let Dillon Gabriel evolve and develop, you get your mental reps, and it's almost like you get to have a rookie season all over again. You could be a trade piece. A team is going to be struggling, looking for a quarterback, maybe a number 2 quarterback, and you can put yourself in a situation that you want to be in at this point with the influence of the Cleveland Browns. Of course, they have influence of where you go with trading or whatnot, but you can have open and candid conversations. I think Dillon Gabriel is doing enough, and I think Shedeur Sanders is handling this the right way. When's the last time you heard from him? It's been a while, at least a few weeks, right? I think when Dillon Gabriel got the first start, people were asking him about the moves, and then he did the I'm not talking type of interview. Hopefully he learned from that. But Shedeur Sanders is a name. It's crazy because he was the league leader when it comes to jersey sales to start the season. So people wanted to see him. But at this point, I think it's a wrap. I don't think we'll see him. As long as Dillon Gabriel is healthy, he should be the guy. He will be the guy. He's playing decent football. I know they lost, 3 games in a row. But this is what you do when you have a rookie quarterback. You got to go through the ups and downs. 702 yards, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's developing. I think Dillon Gabriel can be a solid quarterback in this league.
4th down. We talked with Seahawks Radio Network analyst Bryan Walters earlier today. Anything stand out from our conversation with Bryan?
Yeah, I asked him about, why does he think that the game is going back to old school under center, 11 personnel, 12 personnel? And he said he thinks it's the influence of the Eagles. And I can appreciate that. You look at Jalen Hurts, all the rushing touchdowns he gets. You got Saquon over there. You have 2 receivers on the outside. They have shown that run first is okay and packing it in is okay. He also said that he doesn't think any trades will be made at the trade deadline. So he's looking at this offensive line for the Seahawks and saying they're good enough. They're going to develop. Just be patient with the run. And then he made a good point about Rick Woolen. And what are you going to get out of Rick Woolen that is going to just put you over the top? Right. With how thin this DB room has been when it comes to injuries, I think you got to keep Reed. And I'll say it again, I think he's liable to go on a 3 or 4 game run to where he reminds people, all right, what I'm capable of. And if he does go on that 3 to 4 game run, and you do want to move him in the offseason, you'll get more for it. The best thing for the Hawks to do is to keep working with him, keep developing him, because I think he's going to be okay. And then I went back and looked at, because he talked about the Eagles and what their influence is. And a lot of the influence is because of the quarterback position, right? Jalen Hurts can throw the football, but that's not what you know him for. Set up the run, he runs, and he throws off the play action. Over the past 10 years, 6 out of the 10 quarterbacks with the most rushing yards have played the last 10 years. So that tells you just how the position has changed at the quarterback spot as well. So when you combine trying to match it with the defense and get them in a personnel disadvantage with your quarterback and the mobility of the quarterback, I think this is the way the game is going. There's going to be a time, maybe when I'm turning 50, where the game opens back up because of personnel decisions and matchups. But that is the game of football. You're looking for an edge, and it starts with personnel. Is my guy bigger, faster, and stronger? Is his guy bigger, faster, and stronger? Is he a good tackler? Is my guy good at breaking tackles? It's just a back and forth that happens with personnel constantly. I saw an ESPN feature that was gauging kind of like the percentage chance that certain players are moved before the deadline. So the Max Crosby, a couple other guys. For Rick Woolen, they gave it 50-50 odds. Do you think it's that high? No. I think 60-40 he stays. Okay. Yeah. Probably, obviously those injuries. Maybe if you would have had Devin Witherspoon come back and actually stay back, that changes. But the timing of it makes it very tricky. That trade deadline is November 4th. Coming up. That first Tuesday in November. Your next game back is going to be that Sunday night. It's a very short turnaround to figure out whether or not Devin Witherspoon can come back, be healthy, recover in time, and then you can get a deal done. I think I'm with you on this one. Hang on to Woolen. You don't end up getting as much as you possibly could in terms of picks back, but you stay pretty competitive and deep there. Yep. Is Steve Sarkisian in consideration for the next NFL gig? You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Wyman and Bob.
It's going to take a bit for this team, I think, to get past this moment.
Every afternoon at 2.
To be that close, and you were just steps away, and you came up short. Some of them sat in that dugout and watched the Jays out there celebrating, and they're going to use that as fuel.
You're never going to be happy unless you win the last game, right?
Yeah, but somebody's always going home disappointed, and hopefully it's the Blue Jays.
Yeah, that'll be easy to root for the Dodgers.
Plus, they've got my favorite non-Mariner, Mookie
Betts. That's right, Mookie.
Love Mookie.
Only on Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports on YouTube.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Life's expensive enough, isn't it? Groceries, gas, kids' activities. Sometimes your roof needs replacing, but your budget says not now. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We want to help with an offer to lift that weight off your shoulders. Get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. Or save up to $3,000 on a new roof today. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th, new Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
This is the home of the Seahawks.
Going to let one fly deep. Got a man out there. Ball is caught down at the 10-yard line, and it's JSN.
Seattle Sports.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rureka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with 0 investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here. For my friends at People Come First or PCF Construction Group, are you tired of just grilling in the cold and rain every winter in the Northwest? Well, with a patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy your outdoor deck or patio all year long, staying warm and dry. even in the wintry months. And I have a special offer for you. PCF's Black Friday sale runs through November, and you can get up to 20% off your entire project, plus no payments and no interest until 2027. Most people don't consider building a deck in winter, but if you want yours ready by next spring and summer, then contact PCF right now to start planning. Spend the winter dreaming, designing, and approving your project so you're ready to build by the spring. Remember, planning and permits take time, so get started right now. Find all the offer details, get project ideas, and browse photos at pcfgroup.com or call 425-629-8476. That's 425-629-8476, pcfgroup.com.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
It is The Timeline on Bump and Stacy, reading you the top stories you're going to see and hear about on your own timelines. Let's going to start with college football. Will this be the craziest coaching carousel in college football history? LSU fired Bryan Kelly after their blowout loss to number 3 Texas A&M over the weekend. Kelly is owed $53 million in his buyout, the second largest in college football history. LSU now joins Penn State, Florida, UCLA, Arkansas, Virginia Tech, Oklahoma State, and Stanford as Power 5 programs with head coaching vacancies. Fun fact. Not fun if you're one of these schools. The two largest buyouts in history were both under the same athletic director, Scott Woodward. Bryan Kelly in 2025, and then Jimbo Fisher's $77 million buyout during Woodward's time at Texas A&M.
Yeah, he's been responsible for over $100 million owed to coaches that they're asking not to coach
That's
anymore.
a lot of dollars.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. But he's also been a part of some national championships too. So there's give and some take there. As far as Bryan Kelly, you have to have a certain mentality and approach when you go down south to the SEC. My man is from the East Coast. I believe he's from Boston. He was at Notre Dame. Left a great opportunity there to go down there and win a national championship. You followed up Les Miles, who won a national championship, Ed Orgeron, who won a championship, Nick Saban, who won a national championship. Those are big shoes to fill. So when you start the season the way that you have, I believe they started off like 4-0 or 3-0 or something like that and dropped 3 or 4 in a row. People are going to be calling for you. I was listening to something this morning, and they said by the third quarter in Death Valley, one of the best stadiums of all time, I've been to it, people were leaving the game. That doesn't happen at LSU. It does not happen. But this comes with the territory. You go down to the SEC, your head coach, you're expected to win right now, but I'm sure he's not tripping over the 54 that he's guaranteed.
In a rare moment, Paul Feinbaum, I think right about this one, that the timing was right.
Not only did they lose on the field, he lost in the locker room. I don't think he had anybody believing him anymore, and he certainly didn't have anybody in the stands believing him because they were all gone by the end of the game. But the most important person that didn't believe in him, interestingly, wasn't his boss, but it was the governor of the state of Louisiana, who managed to get in the middle of this because they have an interim president. They had a meeting yesterday. He decided, the group of them decided Kelly had to go. $54 million is a lot of money. Interestingly, Scott Woodward, who hired Kelly and allowed him to have that $54 million buyout, also hired Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M, who got a $76 million buyout.
LSU has since fired offensive coordinator Joe Sloan. Not surprising at all. Again, you're moving on from your head coach now. You're moving on from those assistants.
Yeah, once the head falls, everyone else goes with them.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. LSU ranks number 47 in passing, number 116 in rushing. Offensively, it's almost like that reporter was kind of right ask about some offensive concerns. Remember when Bryan Kelly lost his mind and he was like, "We won, how dare you?" And the reporter was like, "Yeah, you guys are..." I think at that point they were the only... God, they can't have been the only... Power 5 conference. I can't remember. It was like them and almost no one else that had failed to convert a single fourth down attempt. And I don't know if that's since changed. It's been a couple weeks since then, so I'm assuming so. But
rumors that I've heard and read was that
the T you have?
Bryan, the T I have, that Bryan wasn't he just wasn't crossing T's and dotting I's. He was the ultimate delegator, which you have to be as a football coach. You can't do everything. And it sounded like he wasn't keeping up with just the times for the transfer portal, and he wasn't active enough doing all the little things. So,
which is,
well, he's been around. I think for a coach like him, it's tough
unexpected.
Because he comes from a time where there were no transfer portals and NIL.
Yes,
so
but comes from a massive program.
The transition. He just had to make the transition.
Yeah,
so it's on him.
Because I get it. People will point to, this is the SEC. It's different, but like, it's not like you were coaching it like a D3 and then suddenly got this massive promotion.
Yeah.
You're with a pretty big program.
And my man knows football.
Yeah.
You know?
For no reason at all, it also gives us a chance to play this again.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, this is a great way to get started. And I haven't even won all my games yet. It's a great night to be a Tiger. I'm here with my family. And
I'm going to be really honest.
Family.
I'm going to be honest and say, as much as I will poke fun at Brian Kelly for picking up a phantom accent when he became LSU's head coach, I think I might do the same. I think I could see myself. Curtis is nodding. You know me. You've known me for a long time. This is something I think I would do.
Really?
Yeah, I think I would pick up. I think if I were having a conversation for longer than 3 minutes with someone with a Southern accent, I would start using a Southern accent.
Talking like Creole.
For no reason at all.
Having that bow down.
Yeah, I think y'all have fun. And then you're like, what?
Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all. Where are you from? SeaTac? Next up, remember the Kraken arriving at their game in Toronto wearing Mariners jerseys during the ALCS? And then the Blue Jays called out Shane Wright saying like, hey, we'll get you a Blue Jays jersey. Well, Shane Wright was asked whether or not he joined in on Hockey Night in Canada's post-game show on Saturday.
I don't know what to say. I didn't wear the jersey in. There's guys everyone on the team can vouch for that. It was, I think, me, Karts, and Wentz are the only guys who didn't wear the Mariners jersey. But, yeah, I mean.
So you made a conscious decision not to?
Yes.
Because you're an Ontario boy?
I did. Yeah. I did. I chose not to wear it. It was tough because, like, I haven't really been the biggest baseball guy, but I think I've definitely been more of a Jays fan in my life than a Mariners fan. So I wanted to stick to that and support the Jays. And yeah, kind of pretty tough being called out like that for the Jays for, not even wearing the jersey. But yeah, it is what it is.
Huh. Okay.
He did the right thing.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
where are you from?
Hear me out.
He did the right thing.
Shane, I understand having a love not just of a hometown, but also of a team that you're more familiar with and you grew up watching. That team also called you out.
Yeah.
Despite you not even wearing a Mariners jersey.
You were just there minding your own business.
You were catching strays from this team that you're taking bullets for.
I think you should have just thrown the Mariners jersey.
I think you should have just worn the Mariners jersey, man.
No one would have judged him for it. It was
the
just
Blue
a
Jays
team
judged
bonding.
you anyways.
Right.
So what are you going to
yeah.
do? You know who didn't judge you? The Mariners.
Exactly.
The Mariners and the Kraken. You said no thanks
you
to
would have
wearing the jersey, and they said,
a lot of
okay.
points from people in your own market that are trying to root you on. Yeah.
I'm just saying. I respect it. It's not serious. But I don't know. I think
he did the right thing because you can't wear Mariners stuff because you grew up. He's like 12 years old. It's not like he's been here for like
I think he's like
15
21,
years.
22.
It's not like he's been here like 15 years.
I get what you're saying.
So, like,
he's a kid.
Like, what is he supposed to do? If he would have went out and worn the Blue Jay stuff, then Seattle would have been on his head. So he's danged if he does. He's danged if he doesn't. Just go ahead and wear your black tee, whatever you wore. Try to keep it neutral and take whatever strays come
There's
at you.
nothing morally wrong with what he did at all, and my entire critique is tongue-in-cheek. But I'm just saying.
It wouldn't have hurt.
It wouldn't have hurt.
It wouldn't have hurt if
It
you threw
wouldn't
on the
have hurt
Mariners
at all.
jersey.
Next up, let's go back to college football here. On Saturday, a report from The Athletic's Diana Rossini emerged saying Texas head coach Steve Sarkisian would be interested in NFL head coaching openings and specifically mentioned the Titans job, which, what's this? Last time I checked, is very much vacant. Following Texas's comeback win on Saturday, though, Sarkisian strongly denied the report and even went after Rossini.
I'd love to touch on this, so bear with me for a second, because it really pisses me off that one person can make a report that in turn the entire media sports world runs with as factual, to the point of my agency and my agents have to put a statement out that they never have done. Historically, CAA, Jimmy Sexton, and Ed Manowitz have never do that. But I had to do that to protect my locker room and my team. And I thought it was absolutely ridiculous. I thought it was completely unprofessional of that person to put that report out. And the fact that everybody ran with it is borderline embarrassing for the media. And I respect what you guys do. I really do, and everybody else. But the fact that everybody ran that as truth is really embarrassing. Okay, so I've got a small circle when I make decisions on what I do and what I don't do, and nobody would speak on my behalf without me knowing. And so where that report came from, I'd love to talk to that person because it's absolutely ridiculous.
Okay, we don't need to pound the table. But I will say, look, if I were Sark Bump, I'd be bothered if it created some discord in my locker room. I got to go in and tell my guys, look, I'm not looking for jobs. But if I were Diana Rossini, I think I'd maybe privately reach out and be like, yo, I didn't just make this up. This is who it came from. Or like, I'm letting you know that I got this from someone in your camp. Diana Rossini didn't just make this up to get clicks.
Both are doing what they're supposed to do in this moment.
Exactly.
She has to report it, and he has to deny it to the fullest because they're in the middle of a run. You just lost Arch Manning, got knocked out last game. There's a lot of stuff going on with Texas, and his job is to make everyone who wears that burnt orange believe that he is their guy. So both are fine here. I think, and he had to do it in this manner, right?
Yeah.
It makes it matter of fact. if he does it this way.
How dare you?
Yeah.
I will say this. If he ends up taking that Titans job, and I was Diana Rossini, I would repost this and I'd be like, yeah, so you really wanted to like shame me in the moment and make it seem as though, how dare I do this when like I was told that you wanted this job.
Hey.
I'm just reporting what I hear.
Reporting the news.
Do you believe it?
I think that he's definitely been spoken to about NFL jobs.
Yeah.
Whether he wants to do it or not, I don't know, but teams have reached out to him, I think.
Also, don't blame him though for
You have to do
it. You simply have to. Okay, let's coming up at noon, so about 20 minutes from now, we're going to talk about what the Seahawks got right and wrong in the offseason. And then let's take a look back at maybe some lessons learned from a Week 8 that wasn't exceptionally interesting, but can still tell us a bit about the contenders in the NFC. That's next.
Wyman and Bob.
It's going to take a bit for this team, I think, to get past this moment.
Every afternoon at 2.
You know, to be that close, and you were just steps away, and you came up short. Some of them sat in that dugout and watched the Jays out there celebrating, and they're going to use that as fuel.
You're never going to be happy unless you win the last game, right?
Yeah, but somebody's always going home disappointed, and hopefully it's the Blue Jays.
Yeah, that'll be easy to root for the Dodgers.
Plus, they've got my favorite non-Mariner, Mookie Betts.
That's right, Mookie.
Love Mookie.
Only on Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports on YouTube.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health. It's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
At Bible Law Group, we know how important voting is. That's why we're partnering with Seattle's own rock star Aaron Jones to rock the vote Thursday, October 30th at the Queen Anne Beer Hall. Vote and enjoy delicious smash burgers with Aaron and local bands by getting your ticket at bit.ly/BibleRock. If you've misplaced your ballot, don't panic. In Washington, you can still print a provisional ballot online and drop it in any official ballot box by November 4th. When prayer just ain't cutting it for your legal needs, we suggest 2 things. Vote and call Bible Law Group.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that, and third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
Progressive knows road trips without your pet can be tough.
Hi, this is Next Stop Dog Boarding.
Hi, it's Scott again. How's Squeaks doing? You can tell if he's stressed by his eyebrows. Oh, and his breathing should sound like this.
Scott, Squeaks is exactly the same as last time you called.
Okay, let's talk in 20 to see if anything's changed.
With Progressive, your pet is covered up to $1,000 in vet bills in case of a car accident. So next time, you can take your pet with you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information on quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/sports. QUO.com/sports.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, there were a bunch of 5-2 teams, 6 to be exact, in the NFC entering Week 8. But well, we have some changes. One of those teams has improved to 6 wins. Now with the second best record in football, the Eagles. Packers also got a win, though they weren't 5-2. They also got a win. So let's talk about what contenders in the NFC look like right now. I mean, frankly, what's kind of fun is the AFC contenders are weirdly similar in terms of some of their strengths, but we're focusing on the NFC for obvious reasons, and we actually may get to include the Seahawks in this conversation. Contenders in the NFC right now, we know kind of who they are. Are we seeing patterns emerge? Are we seeing commonalities? Are we seeing a common theme?
A common theme, maybe. I mean, the common theme for most teams that are successful is that you got a quarterback who's playing at a high level, right? If you just look at the top quarterbacks in the game when it comes to passing, Justin Herbert, maybe they're playing okay, but Dak Prescott is the outlier when it comes to these top quarterbacks, right? This is top 10 when it comes to yards. You got Herbert, Prescott, they're struggling over there. Daniel Jones' team is balling, best in the game, best record in the game right now.
Look at them, 7-1.
Drake May doing his thing. Baker Mayfield doing all right. Matthew Stafford has the most touchdowns in the game right now. His ratio is on point. Bo Nix, 6-2. They're doing their thing. Patrick Mahomes making a turn. Jordan Love just balled out last night. And then to round up the top 10, you have Sam Darnold, who leads the division at this point. So, yes, it starts with the quarterback. And then I think you have to start looking at just some more, I guess, specific metrics. Specifically the run game. The teams who can run the football are typically better, even though the Jets are third in the game and the Panthers are fifth in the game.
Not good.
Both of those dudes are struggling.
And Packers are middle of the road, to be fair.
So, but it's the, again, I think that shows that the Seahawks method of running the football is effective as well. It's the threat of the run. It's having a K9 in the backfield that everyone knows is capable of breaking it. It's having tight ends who are influential in the run game as well. But no, it always starts with the quarterback, right? It starts with the quarterback. You look at the run game, then you can focus on the defense a bit too. Even though the top 3 teams in the game when it comes to defense is total yards allowed. Houston, Falcons, Browns, Texans coming off a good win. I think the Falcons lost this weekend,
They
right?
did, yeah.
They lost, and
to
then
the Dolphins.
the Browns are the Browns.
The Browns are the Browns who also lost to the Patriots. Patriots a pretty good team this year, though. Second that, when it comes to the quarterbacks, I think that there have been questions already about Jalen Hurts, now going to the Eagles, obviously, already about Jalen Hurts, and his best games last year in that Super Bowl winning season still came in the playoffs and at the end of the season. And we were all wondering, like, are the Eagles no longer the team to beat in the NFC? And I think right now that list, in a fun way, can potentially include the Seahawks. For a while there, it looked like it would be the Bucs, but that offense has cooled in back-to-back weeks. Even though this was a win and a blowout win, it was because it was a very complete game. And it was a great defensive performance against a bad Saints offense. But Baker Mayfield's cooled a little bit, which I know because of my fantasy team, but also because I watched this game. Jalen Hurts, though, 15 of 20, 179, not a really explosive day, but 4 touchdowns. I mean, in terms of are they the team to beat, I don't know anymore. And I do like the Seahawks in a matchup against them, but they're certainly not out of this. I think any talk of, are the Eagles going to struggle? These stats don't look that impressive was way too premature. I think they're the teams we expected. The Packers are up there. The Eagles are up there. The Bucs can be. They're just a little banged up. And right now that includes the Rams and Seahawks, though neither played this weekend.
Yeah, they both had off, so that allowed us to reflect and really just get healthy too, right, for both of these teams. You just mentioned during the break, Puka Nacua is going to be back this week, so good for your fantasy team, bad for everyone else.
Took my first loss this weekend.
First L.
Tough.
The weird one is Tampa Bay, because we know what they're capable of. You barely lost. You lost by 1 score to the Eagles. The Lions game was a bit different. You mentioned them being banged up.
Yeah.
They took that L. And then you beat a Saints team 23-3, and it didn't feel like the type of game that you needed to see from these guys against the Saints. Baker Mayfield doesn't throw any interceptions, but also doesn't throw any touchdowns. Running the game, 88 yards on the ground, 1 rushing touchdown there. I'm trying to figure out where they get their points from. They got some returns for there was a pick 6, I believe, that they had
For the Bucs?
Yeah.
Pick 6.
Pick 6.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not gonna do to the Bucs what the typical fan or just anyone who reacts does. Is you look at that one game and you say, well, they're messed up. What's going on? That's that one game. No, these are professionals. They're going to have ups and downs. You're playing against other professionals too. So this was their down game. So their next opponent, I believe, is going to be the Patriots. So I think this is more of a measuring stick when it comes to who are the Bucs for. I still respect what they're doing.
And they do get a week 9 bye, so they're going to be able to rest up. Maybe Baker Mayfield comes back even healthier, has been nursing, I want to say, a knee injury and something else. I'll say this as we kind of wrap up talking about, like, who are the NFC contenders right now? What do they look like? Are there patterns? Your point is right, that the easiest pattern you can find is quarterback play, and behind that would be that these are all pretty physical teams. Some of them have amazing run games, like Detroit, with a real 1-2 punch, and then others are kind of middle of the road, like Green Bay. They're 16th in rushing yards per game. Seattle's around 20th, but they're still able to stay really competitive. I will say this, and what, if you're a Seahawks fan, you should like right now. When I look at teams that I consider to be top contenders in the NFC, so the Lions, the Eagles, the Packers, even with flaws, still very much those teams, the Buccaneers, still very much that team, and the Rams, I think the Seahawks could beat any one of those teams. Does it mean it's going to happen 10 times out of 10? Absolutely not. But I think the Seahawks can hang with these teams in a way that I wouldn't have felt as confident about in the last couple years.
Yeah, for sure. You got it. You got it. You got it.
All right. So let's take a look back now that we're 2 months into the season to figure out what the Seahawks got right and wrong in the offseason. A look around the NFL coming up at 12:30. Back to Mariners at 12:45 and at 1 p.m. with Seattle Times' Adam Jude.
ESPN senior MLB insider Jeff Passan with Brock and Salk.
If you are in the Mariners front office, what are you spending your offseason focusing on?
This feels like a beginning, not an end. I see this being the beginning of the best run in the history of this franchise. The sheer number of really good prospects that the Mariners have lead me to believe that they're going to be in this position again.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
I had a young woman who was on a new SUV, and she had attachments to her old car because it was her first car. And she had questions because she was doubling her spending budget, and she was very fiscally responsible. It was almost making her sick. And the best path at that point was to, let's stop for the night and you go home and take a breath. She came back in the morning and bought the car. She was way happier. These are major life accomplishments. You have the ability to afford at this tier. You've secured one of the major needs in your life. You should be feeling a tremendous amount of pride and respect for your accomplishments. I'm just grateful that we get to celebrate it with them, that we get to be part of it in that aspect of it.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you. Guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Michael is in his 70s, and he was dealing with an injury.
I had tears in my rotator cuff. Just the discomfort of going about everyday life. Day-to-day things were not comfortable or almost impossible, but just being inactive was troubling.
He was in a great deal of pain.
I started trying to learn how to brush my teeth with my left hand, and you can't do it. It was ridiculous.
Searching for answers, Michael found Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine, where he underwent stem cell therapy.
You know, I play basketball Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and so I'm getting my shot back. It's not back to where it was, but hey, before I couldn't even do anything. So 100% improvement of what it was.
Wow, that's great to hear. Would you recommend stem cell therapy to others?
I can share without a doubt that it helped me, and I'm grateful for that.
Whether it's a shoulder, hip, or knee, before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Guys, tired all the time, gaining weight, low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. Right now, Revive Men's Health Washington is making it easier to get answers with a comprehensive wellness panel. It's not just a lab test, it's where better performance begins. Our providers will check your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. A $400 value for just $99, or free if you start treatment. Over 120,000 men have trusted Revive to restore their energy, mood, and confidence. So if you're ready to feel better and live stronger, call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Offer ends November 30th. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Are your investment dollars working as hard as they should be? You've spent years building your future. Don't let outdated advice put it at risk. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. We're a veteran-owned firm proud to bring a new standard of financial care to the Seattle area. Our nationally recognized advisors are fiduciaries, ethically bound to put your interests first. That's the highest standard of care in the industry. As a privately held company, we answer to you, our valued clients, not shareholders. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a customized plan. From Bellevue to Tacoma, get advice you can count on. It's time to take a fresh look at your financial plan. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-466-3300. That's 206-466-3300. Trajan Wealth. Plan smarter, dream bigger.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Rams and Titans made the first trade ahead of November's midseason deadline. The Rams acquired cornerback Roger McCreary from the Titans for a conditional 5th, 6th round pick swap. McCreary's in the final year of his rookie deal and plays primarily in the slot. Chiefs Commanders face off tonight for Monday Night Football. Marcus Mariota starting in place of an injured Jaden Daniels.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. All right, very quickly here, we are going to talk about what the Seahawks got right and wrong in the offseason, but someone texted something in about the tush push. And if anyone watched the Rich Eisen show earlier today, there's like a 7-minute clip that he has posted to his own account where he talks about kind of having turned on it, saying like, hey, initially I was in favor of it. I thought that the Packers, like we kind of teased the Packers for wanting to take it out of the game. But it came up again yesterday. So he's now saying like, I don't know that I can be in favor of it anymore. But it came up yesterday against that Giants game on 4th and 1. The Eagles ran the tush push, and it was a very clear fumble that was ruled not a fumble because they ruled that forward momentum had stopped. And
garbage.
Once again, a tush push debate came up wherein the debate was, is it the tush push that's a problem, or is it the officiating of the tush push in this case that was a problem?
Let's just keep it to this case right here.
Okay.
That's the problem. It's just the referees got it wrong. Thibodeau clearly snatched the football from Jalen Hurts, rolled out of it, picked up the ball.
Fumble.
Forward progress had not been stopped. He's still moving forward. They just don't, and I blame the league kind of with this too. Because, no, I don't blame the league. They have an opportunity to try to get it right now. We've never seen this before. That playing football, there are some plays, it's rare that I see a playing football where like, I've never seen that. Rare in any sport. We've been playing so long, you're going to see stuff happen over and over and over again. There's never been a situation like this. So I think these guys got together and we're like, what do you think? We're looking at the video. Let's try to get this thing right. And they just got it wrong. Moving forward, if they continue to get that wrong, and I doubt this actual play happens very often again. I think maybe we'll see it in my lifetime 2 more times in this situation. They just got this play wrong.
Yeah.
You know who also does a tush push? Seattle Seahawks. They pick it up. The Bills, they pick it up. The tush push is a high percentage play no matter who's running it because you're typically doing it within a yard of a first down. I don't care about the tush push. Go ahead and get it. Just don't get in that situation. You'll be fine. But I think in this specific situation, the referees just got it wrong.
Let me also say, yes, absolutely agree. The referees got it wrong in this case. They officiated it as though they were reaching out to break the plane of a goal line instead of trying to convert 4th and 1. It should have been officiated as trying to convert 4th and 1. There was no stop in forward momentum. You're not breaking the plane. You're trying to pick up a first down, and you fumbled it when you were not down. That's a fumble. Any other time. If the argument's going to be, the tush push is somehow making it difficult for officials to call this, then you need to fix your officiating because everyone and their mom, including everyone on the Giants sideline, saw this and was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's a fumble. Any other
Clear
day. If it's that obvious to so many other people, the problem is just that it wasn't reviewable. They couldn't overturn it. It is what it is. And that's a bummer, but that's an officiating problem, not necessarily a tush-push problem.
I give them some slack. They've never seen this before.
Sure, but I will say that, like, fourth down conversion rates on average are significantly higher than third down conversion rates on average, because fourth down conversion rates, anytime you're going for it, far more often than not is within, 3 yards, if that?
Yeah.
Usually like 4th and 1, 4th and 2, 4th and inches.
Mm-hmm.
An average conversion rate is going to be like 50+%, 60+% on that anyways.
Yeah.
Versus if you look at a third down conversion percentage, if you're converting 45% of your third downs, you're golden. You're easily top half of the league.
You have to run a play on third down. You don't have to run a play on fourth down.
Right.
So if you're going for a play on fourth down, you're saying, hey, it's reachable. We're within 1 or 2 yards, maybe even 3, and we got to play for this. So, yeah, the rate should be up.
They're not doing a tush-push on 1st and 10.
Nah.
This isn't a play that's somehow ruining football. It is, like you said, a very high percentage play on short yardage situations, which if more teams went for it on 4th and 1, now a tush-push is something that very few teams have been able to successfully replicate from the Eagles. They do have, I guess, a physical advantage there. But overall, if you go for it more often on 4th down, more often than not, you're going to convert on 4th down. That's why so many people always call for coaches, and it's hard to make the decision when you're the coach, but that's why so many people always call for it, because 4th down conversions are statistically going to be way higher. So I don't know, man. I really like Rich Eisen. I do disagree with him on this one, and I disagree with people saying, like, this is the problem with the tush push, is like they're going to officiate it wrong. That's a problem with your league.
Any football team should be able to pick up 1 yard most of the time. No matter if tush push or not, you should be able to pick up 1 yard.
Yeah. So thank you for the listener for texting that in. We talked about it during the break, and we were like, let's continue this on air because it's a fun football conversation. The tush push continues to be very controversial. And if you guys did not see that, like if you didn't watch the Giants-Eagles game, just look up the clip from it. You'll look at it for 2 seconds and realize it's a fumble, and it was not ruled a fumble, and so that's why it's back up in the news.
I can't wait for the 30 for 30 on the tush push. It's going to be awesome.
Do you think they'll do a 30 for 30 on the Eagles or just the tush push?
I think both.
The best 30 for 30s are the more unique, tiny microscopic.
Yeah, there's going to be science behind it. It's going to be awesome.
The tush push. Yeah, and like why no other team could do it. Do you wish the Seahawks would do the barnyard more?
No, I don't think. I don't know this for a fact, but I don't think they've been in those situations as often as Philly's in. Like, you got to be in 4th and 1, 4th and 2, and you got to be you should be in the enemy's territory at the same time. So no, I think they do it at the appropriate amount.
I would have liked to see it a few more times.
Can you remember a situation where you thought
yes,
they should have done it?
There was a situation where they went for it. I'm trying to find it from my notes from this past game. They were at the goal line with, a couple yards to go, and they went 3 Charbonnet carries, I want to say. I'm trying to find it. And it's in that moment, this was against Jacksonville, and it's in that moment where you go, why not just try the little barnyard pickup? Like, why not just see what you can do there? God, I have it at 2nd and 4. So I don't know about a 2nd and 4, but they were at 1st and 10. Charbonnet picks up 5 yards. Now you're at 2nd and 4, 3rd and 4, and they don't convert either time.
2nd and 4, 3rd and 4. How many yards?
But what if you are able to successfully just pick up maybe one more?
So you're saying do a tush push on 2nd and 4?
Not 2nd and 4, but at that point when you're that close to the goal line, I would have liked to just see, like, what does it look like if you just try it for...
I don't think the tush push is made for 4 yards. I think it's made
for,
I
don't either, but it's, like, right in between where it's like, you know what, maybe the problem is on 2nd and 4, there was no gain.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Or maybe another issue is, why are we going 3 times with Charbonnet and not Walker?
And I wonder if they were under center or in shotgun as well on that 2nd and 4.
Oh, I don't remember. Someone also said 30 for 30, about the mafia getting involved with. They said when the mafia invented the tush push, but I was immediately thinking there's absolutely going to be a 30 for 30 on the Chauncey Billups stuff. No doubt in my mind.
They're already producing it right now.
Okay, I didn't even get to our main topic here, so let's dive in. We are now 2 months into the season. Let's talk about what the Seahawks got right and wrong in the offseason. This was prompted by 2 things. One, Bill Barnwell, who was on with us last week talking about the Seahawks having, in hindsight for him, one of the best off seasons.
One of the things myself, I think a lot of other people thought heading into out of the offseason was, hey, maybe you needed to add more offensive line, and maybe there needed to be more than just that one addition. But the offensive line, because of the scheme, because of the structure, because of how they've played, they have been much improved. And so I think you have to give John Schneider, who has been in this job for a long time for a reason, a lot of credit for what he accomplished. Seahawks in a great spot right now.
So this was already a conversation that we were kind of having because of that feature from Bill Barnwell and him joining us. And then the three of us were talking in the sports pit before the show started about whether there's any move from the offseason we'd want back or any move that cost this team. And I think we all settled on maybe a draft pick here and there that you maybe would have done differently late, but that overall, you're not looking around the league going, they really missed out. Or you're not looking at this team going, oh my God, this was so costly. And then we were trying to debate well, what was the best move? So many different topics here.
Honestly, I think the best move was giving JSN space to grow, to blossom, and to be that guy. And I'll admit, I was skeptical. I thought he was capable of being a number one guy. I didn't think through 7 weeks he'd lead the league in receiving yards. I didn't think through 7 weeks he'd have the most explosive plays down the field. No, I thought he'd be a good number one receiver. So he exceeded my expectations. I was questioning what this was going to look like without DK and without Lockett. Clearly the best move. I also think that they might have found an offensive line. They might have found 4 guys on this offensive line for the next 3 or 4 years. I think there's one spot that's struggling a bit, who maybe he can develop into that guy, but I think that the addition of Gray's Able to this line has been great.
How much of it is personnel and how much of it is Grubb versus Clint? Because Curtis, earlier when we were talking about this, you said you think maybe the best move isn't specifically a player, but moving on from Grubb.
Yeah, because with Grubb gone, it then led to the hire of Kubiak, which I don't think Darnold is here if Kubiak isn't. So it set everything in motion, and now obviously you had to get rid of Geno Smith to bring in Sam Darnold. But I think the decision to get rid of Ryan Grubb just set everything in motion and sent everything down this path where the Seahawks are right now, because I think it kind of reached a point of no return with both Geno and DK. And I get that those guys, when they were here, were talented, and DK has continued to be a productive receiver in Pittsburgh, but just getting rid of Grubb, pushing that domino over, led to all the subsequent things happening, and it's benefited the Seahawks in many ways.
Bump, what do you think?
No, I agree. I think getting rid of Grubb gave this offense potential energy, right? You had the potential to do some other stuff, because the way that Grubb called a game required a top 5 quarterback in the game, top 6 quarterback in the game, and you knew you just weren't going to get that. So with Kubiak, it's more of and there's no disrespect to you, Coobs, all right? No disrespect. But Kubiak is more of the average man's offense. I'm going to nickel and dime. I'm going to have some help here. I'm going to have some help there. It's a village type of offense, to where the offense that Grubb was calling, you need a dude back there. And at UW with Michael Penix and that offensive line and playing against 18, 19-year-olds, you had a dude and some dogs on the outside, and Rome and McMillan and all those guys. So that's why I think it's working for him in Alabama, because you can just out-personnel some guys. I coached at high school, and there were some times I would just call the wrong play, and my boys were so much better than the other team. They just made it work. In the NFL, it ain't going to happen like that very often. So with the Kubiak's offense, this is Kirkland's signature, baby. This is quality.
And who doesn't love Kirkland's signature?
Who doesn't love Kirkland's signature? This is quality.
Us Costco heads, we're huge fans of it. Love Costco. Okay, I have one question to throw your way, just like a hypothetical. And it's so easy to do this when you've watched his season so far, unfortunately now ending early. Would you rather the Seahawks have drafted Cam Scatterbo than Jalen?
Yeah. Probably.
I was not mad at the Seahawks.
I understand why they did it, though.
Completely understand.
You got to make sure you have someone in the wings waiting and developing, because you didn't know. You know what you're going to get.
And I would have made the same first 2 picks.
Yeah. But hindsight's 20/20.
But Jalen was taken late 3rd round, pick like 92, something like that. And then Cam was taken early 4th, Cam Scatterbo.
Yeah. But you have to make moves based off of your current situation. And in that moment, they needed a quarterback who has the potential to take this thing over if things don't work out. Looking at what Scadaboo's been doing, what he brought to the New York Giants, heck yeah, man. I love Scadaboo. I loved him in college. I loved him at Sac State. He is a one-of-a-kind type of football player and a guy that emotionally can drive your team and is a leader as a rookie. Hindsight, yeah. But I think Milroe has an opportunity here.
I'm with you. Daniel Jeremiah was asked last week by Brock and Salk whether the Seahawks could be better if they drafted Scadaboo. It's just one of the kind of alternate reality universe type decisions of the offseason.
I mean, I think you could look at where they were in that position room and they felt pretty good about those two guys. So, I mean, that kind of comes back to best player available, highest rated. I'd have to go back and see how different I had them stacked up. But that would not have stood out to me at the time. And I think Scadaboo's been given tremendous opportunity there that I don't know if he would get all those touches and carries with the backfield that are in Seattle right now. So I would say that was not a way I would go at this point in time. I'm going to let that play out a little bit. But Scadaboo is fun. He's kind of, to me, reminds me of like somehow Mike Allstott and Rob Gronkowski had a baby.
and that baby ate crayons. Scadaboo's been fun. I feel horrible for him and Giants fans that his season's over. But here's what I like about DJ's answer. He says, well, yeah, like it's fun. Like you see a fun player and you think, oh, would he have looked like that here? But at the time, they probably really liked those two guys they had in the backfield, which brings us all the way back to a conversation about the run game. I don't see a problem with the two running backs they have. No. I don't feel like they have an issue with running back talent.
No, not at all. I think that if McIntosh was healthy, who knows how he factors into this whole thing too. Oh no, I think he said it right. Is that they like the guys they had, but we're also so used to the Seahawks drafting running backs. You can have 3 or 4 back there. The Seahawks going to bring a running back in. That's just what we've seen with Coach McDonald over the past, X amount of years. I think the last 2 years, this past draft and the draft before, they did not bring in running backs. But before that, you bring in McIntosh. Before that, you bring in K9, of course. One draft, you don't have a lot of picks. Before that, you're bringing DJ. This is just what they do. Before that, you bring in Travis Homer. We're just going off of the profile and the tendencies of John Schneider.
But again, I feel like it comes back to the same issue, and it helps us determine more clearly the issue with Seattle's run game is not that you don't have talented running backs. I would have loved to see Cam here just to see what he would have looked like. I do agree with Daniel Jeremiah that he had opportunities in New York that he wouldn't have had here. And again, all of this is not only hindsight 2020, but with the knowledge that Cam's season's done. So for now, someone clarified for now, sure. But
he's done for the year.
He had surgery last night to fix a dislocated ankle, and that looked pretty gruesome. Hope for a quick recovery for him. He was fun to watch. But I think it's always fun to do what-ifs when you look at your offseason and when you look at your team. I really like that I don't have a lot of what-ifs for Seattle right now. I'm not looking at Will Fries with the Vikings going, oh, my God, he's going to be a first-team All-Pro. What were you doing? You missed out on that opportunity. The only person I'm not looking at DK with the Steelers going, oh, my God, you have no wide receivers, and look at this guy flourishing with Pittsburgh. I'm not looking anywhere else going, what a horrible mistake you made. I am, though, looking here in Seattle going, if there was one thing that I wish I could see, it would be a better, more consistent run game. And as much as I think it would be fun to have Cam Scadaboo here, it's not a running back problem.
Yeah, and
these guys are healthy and they're good.
We want a more consistent run game, but you know what they did? Drafted a lineman at 18. They still did something that was going to address that issue. It's not hitting the way that we'd like it, but it's not for a lack of trying. It's just lack of execution. It's some blown assignments here or there. And I still believe in it. I think if they were to end the season right now, running the football the way that they are, what are they averaging? Like 90-some yards per game. I want to say they're
like 20th. I don't know what number that is, but they're not worse is what I'm saying.
They don't, to me, for them to reach some of the heights that I think they can, which is a division title and maybe win a playoff game right now. And they're trending in the right direction. I mean, they could go from, just win one game to 2 games to conference championship. But right now, as it stands, right, if they were to continue to run the football the way they are right now, I think that they could be okay because there's going to be games where the numbers go up in that run game. It's just not as consistent as I'd like it.
It's a Reaction Monday powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number one, the Raiders are signing free agent receiver Tyler Lockett just days after his release from the Titans. What's the real headline?
I think a blind man could have seen this one coming.
Yeah, and, you know, Tyler Lockett, Raiders fans, I know you guys are passionate, but you're not delusional. You don't expect Tyler Lockett to come over there and save the day. What you need from him is him to make 4 or 5 splash plays in your journey to win in 6 to 7 games. You're not going to make the playoffs. You're in a tough division. The Chiefs are coming back. The Broncos are running it right now. You're there to give Geno Smith some type of comfort because he's struggling right now. He doesn't have a great offensive line. The run game isn't great. He leads the league in interceptions. He is struggling right now. And sometimes all a quarterback needs is a little safety blanket, someone that he knows he can trust, he can depend on. And he's not going to have a 100-yard game. He hasn't had one since 2022. If he does, I'm wrong. So be it. I'm happy for you, Tyler Lockett. But this is a vibes move.
I think the weird thing about Geno, I was wondering the same thing. Is like, does Tyler being there create kind of a mental difference for him? Because the weirdest thing about Geno is this is not how Geno played in Seattle. Even when Geno was throwing picks in Seattle, this is a horrible version of Geno.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, why? You're with a coach that supports you, who you get along with well. You're with an offensive coordinator who, while he struggled as a head coach, clearly is a well-respected coordinator in Kelly. Like, I don't know what's going on with Geno, but he looks horrible.
They're not able to run the ball. Chip wants to run the football. They just can't do that.
Yeah.
Headline rewrites.
Headline 2, the Dodgers tied up the World Series at 1 game apiece thanks to Yoshinobu Yamamoto's second straight complete game. What's the real headline?
I never thought this day would come, but Bump, you're going to have to root against an 80s baby tonight.
Yeah, an 80s baby who's angry, who got at his skip the other day or like a week ago when he was on the mound. But it's easy because he's going against my Dodgers, so we're going to do that. And Yamamoto, we're going to need you one more time, all right? I need another complete game from you. If he does do that, he'll tie the record for most complete games in a playoff or in the playoffs. But it's time to go, boys. I respect Toronto. They are a good ball club. Every time Vladdy Daddy's up there, I get scared. Barger gets on my nerves. Springer really gets on my nerves.
Really gets on my nerves. Did you see that they're once again complaining that they thought that Yamamoto was intentionally throwing at him?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what teams want to do is put runners on base in a World Series game.
It's called jamming them up. That's what you're trying to do.
Or
trying
you're
to get them
throwing
hands
inside.
tight.
Like what? Like
yeah,
calm
trying to get
down.
their hands tight. That's how you negate all his power. You throw him in tight.
Stop.
So he can't get through.
This isn't like everyone is trying to attack George Springer, though I will say I get annoyed by Houston fans. Now it's Toronto fans too, but by Houston fans who are like, when are people going to get over it? Never. You are part of the biggest modern cheating scandal in MLB history, and you got away with it. People can be mad at this team and those players for the rest of time, and you need to accept that. That would suck to be a fan and to be like, oh man, like, I just want to be able to celebrate this team, and it was one of my best experiences and memories, but like, I want it free of the guilt of knowing they cheated. Well, sorry. That's something you have to wear forever. It was proven. It's known. This is not something that's just a conspiracy theory. And people are okay if they never get over it. If they want to boo Altuve or Springer or Cora or whoever else that was tied to that for the rest of time, they can do that.
I'm trying to think, is there anybody that I would just boo other than an Astro? Is there anyone that I just want to boo every time? I don't think I have that. It's just Astros.
Yeah, well, and people can be like, well, look at Mookie Betts and what he did with the Red Sox, and No, you don't get to say other teams have cheated, so therefore you can't boo at these guys anymore. You cheated. Wear it.
Someone says, knock it off. Toronto doesn't have a very good club.
No, they have what are you talking about? They're in a World Series right now.
Just let it go. It's fine.
So I just think the Blue Jays aren't good.
They beat us, okay?
It is what it is. I mean, I'm not happy about it, but you can't say that the two teams in the World Series aren't good teams.
You don't sneak into the World Series.
You don't sneak into the ALCS. That's what I kept saying when people were like, Mariners, typical Mariners, they're going to blow. What do you mean typical? They've never been here before. I'm just ranting now. What's next?
Headline rewrites.
Headline 3, despite a blowout win over number 23 Illinois, 6-2 Washington remains unranked in the latest AP poll. What's the real headline?
The only rankings I care about as a Husky are the U.S. News and World Report's rankings of the top research universities in the world. Washington coming in at number 8. Bow down.
Top 10, baby.
Take that. I didn't see Bama there. That's weird. I didn't. I'm looking around for Georgia. I can't. That's so strange. I can't find them.
You only care about that because you're not ranked in the top 25.
Because it's academic prowess is what it is.
That's what it is. And thankfully, all the foreigners who pay a whole bunch of money to go to that school have help. But UW is they're being gypped. They are being gypped. I think they should be at least 25 at this time. It's just it's jacked up. I was trying to make sense of it with Oklahoma, Missouri, Michigan, SC, Utah. Those are the teams.
Not in the U.S. News and World Report. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, you're right. I was going to say if UCLA was there, but UCLA
that's where dummies go.
There.
Oh, UCLA is great, though.
Yeah, UCLA. But no, also Stanford too, but their football team isn't very good. But I'm trying to make sense of it. It all starts with preseason perception, and that's where teams like UW get hurt. Damon Williams is one of the most fun quarterbacks to watch play in college football right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys have watched him play. That 3rd and 18 run he had was ridiculous. Now, they need some more respect on their name, man. I got to keep it 100.
Coming up at 12:45, do you feel better or worse about the Mariners after the first 2 games of the World Series? Game 3 is going to be tonight in L.A. Before then, though, taking a look at some NFL trade rumors ahead of next week's deadline.
It's the Hawks Player Spotlight.
Tight end A.J. Barner is with us. How are you, man?
Doing well. It's good to be on here.
Brought to you by Three Tree Roofing.
The rookie on this O-line, Gray Zabel, is with us.
Sam is an elite quarterback.
Going deep with a different Hawks player every day at 3:30 with Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports.
Every time he walks into the huddle, we know we got a chance for a big play.
Nick Eamon-Wari is with us.
I felt good physically going into the game.
Catch up on every Hawks Spotlight on Seattle Sports on YouTube and the Seattle Sports app.
Matt Coker here with West Coast Men's Health. In the past 5 years, we've seen thousands of men at our clinics. Most guys tell us the same story, that in their early 50s, it's not that they couldn't function, they just needed help. They started taking Viagra, and it worked great at first. But after a few years, it stopped working. The problem is that their arteries had become more restricted since they started taking it, because Viagra does not unclog arteries. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we use acoustic wave therapy to target the real problem. We break down plaque and clear up the arteries so blood can flow like it did in your 20s. This restores function. And guys, listen to this. You won't have to take a pill anymore. So if this sounds like you, give West Coast Men's Health a call today and see how we can help.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Lake Washington Windows was voted best in the Northwest. Celebrate by saving 25% off new Leak Armor installed windows through October. Plus enjoy 0 down, 0 payments, 0 interest until 2026. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com, a name you can trust.
John here with Happy Hauler. We want to help get your unwanted items to those in need. Furniture and household items you plan on throwing away? We'll take them and prioritize donating and recycling, keeping items out of the landfill, and giving useful items a second happy home. Happy Hauler is Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We work with over 20 nonprofits all over Western Washington to donate used items. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. Reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
This Breast Cancer Awareness Month, choose care that puts you first. At Snoqualmie Valley Health, you won't wait weeks for a mammogram. Appointments are available now, just 30 minutes east of Seattle. Experience the difference with advanced 3D mammography and our new Breast Health Suite, designed for accuracy, comfort, and peace of mind. If you're 40 and older, yearly screenings are recommended, and no referral is needed if you haven't had a mammogram in the past year. Don't wait. Detect early. Schedule today at snoqualmievalleyhealth.org.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service will help your company with logoed apparel, uniforms, floor mats, linen, and more. Give us a call. We answer the phone. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do. Visit suplinen.com.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
The Bump and Stacy Show is powered in part each day by the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here. For my friends at People Come First or PCF Construction Group, are you tired of just grilling in the cold and rain every winter in the Northwest? Well, with a patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy your outdoor deck or patio all year long, staying warm and dry, even in the wintry months. And I have a special offer for you. PCF's Black Friday sale runs through November, and you can get up to 20% off your entire project, plus no payments and no interest until 2027. Most people don't consider building a deck in winter, but if you want yours ready by next spring and summer, then contact PCF right now to start planning. Spend the winter dreaming, designing, and approving your project so you're ready to build by the spring. Remember, planning and permits take time, so get started right now. Find all the offer details, get project ideas, and browse photos at pcfgroup.com or call 425-629-8476. That's 425-629-8476, pcfgroup.com.
Why is K2 Vision RLE a permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers? How is it that you'll never develop a cataract after K2 Vision RLE? And how is RLE different from LASIK?
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. We'll answer those questions and others when you join us for our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Andy, what are some of the other questions you hear?
Well, how long is the procedure and recovery? Or who's a good candidate for RLE?
And we'll also answer, how much does RLE cost? Is there financing available? Does insurance pay for RLE?
Find out how K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers.
And cataracts too.
Right, no more cataracts.
K2 Vision's free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Space will be limited, so register now at k2visionrle.com.
Join us at our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Sign up at k2visionrle.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Taking a look around the NFL, we'll start with the Dallas Cowboys, who are squarely mediocre, I guess. A great offense, but a horrible defense. After their loss on Sunday, dropped their record to 3-4-1. So did that loss, especially...
Sounds like me and Curtis's quiz records.
Oh, it's exactly that.
With a tie.
I forgot that I did that. Yeah, Bump, you are 4-3-1, and Curtis is 3-4-1, same as the Cowboys. You're right.
Shouldn't be a one there, but continue.
No, I thought that was a tie that made sense. No one likes ties. No one.
Yeah,
not
I
a
did
single
have the
person.
same feeling.
Yeah,
after,
it has the exact feeling of a tie, which is both teams felt like you should have won and should have lost, and neither of you were happy about it.
Okay.
I'm moving on.
My bad.
So the Dallas Cowboys defense gave up 44 points. It was their most points allowed this season, but not the first time they've given up over 40. It's also, I believe, the fourth time they've given up more than 400 yards. So that defense needs help. Jerry Jones was asked whether or not knowing that changes their trade deadline plans, and he said this.
Well, a loss is discouraging. But as far as my temperament, if I saw a proposition for us to help this team, no matter what this score was today, then I would look at it on the merits of this team. And if you're talking about trading for a player or trading a player, I'd completely look at it on the merits of the team, both for next week or the weeks after or for the longer term. So I'd have to answer your question, no, today would not affect a decision on trading for a player.
Okay, so that sounded like a lot of nothing, but what you need to know is that Jerry Jones said, like, hey, we're not more than a player away on defense, so today doesn't change my mind about what we need to do.
It was logical.
Yeah.
What did he say getting rid of Micah Parsons was going to do for this football
Help their
team?
run.
They are giving up 146 yards against the run. That is good enough for 28th in the NFL.
Not 32nd.
Not 32nd.
So
you got the Giants, the Bills, and the Bengals who allow more than the Cowboys. But he also said that this was a move for the future, getting rid of Michael, right? That it was gonna pay off maybe next year during the draft, the year after that. So far he's been correct in some ways, wrong in other ways, and I think that his answer there was completely logical. They are more than one player away, and typically in football, unless you're drafting or you're getting a Pro Bowl type quarterback, you are typically more than one player away from changing things.
All right, well, speaking of the trade deadline, another rumor about a wide receiver in Jacksonville. The Athletic's Diana Rossini reported over the weekend that Jacksonville is taking calls on second-year wideout Bryan Thomas Jr., but Jacksonville head coach Liam Cohen denied those reports on Monday morning.
Yeah, I am very optimistic. We have no plans on moving Bryan Thomas Jr. At all. Saw something about that over the weekend.
So Thomas had nearly 1,300 receiving yards as a rookie, but he struggled with drops this season, already surpassing his 2024 total with 9 drops through the first 7 games.
He's also has 6 big plays, so catches over 20, 1 touchdown. And Travis Hunter's starting to slowly mold himself into a decent receiver in this league. And we know there's nothing like a 1-2 combo when it comes to having your guys out there at the receiver spot. Last game, Hunter played at 101 yards and 1 touchdown. You'd be dumb to move on from Bryan Thomas at this point. You have a talented quarterback who needs a number 1 type of receiver. That is him. I saw that story and I was scratching my head too. Like, why would they get rid of him?
Yeah.
It would have to be some type of relationship type of thing. Head coach comes out and says it's no bueno. They're not doing it, so I'll take his word for it.
I think it's just also a position that's typically traded at the deadline. We had Benjamin Solak join us because we were asking about whether an offensive lineman could be acquired by Seattle, and he noted that, look, offensive linemen aren't typically dealt. You see kind of plug-and-play players, so skill position players, wide receivers, cornerbacks. We've seen a cornerback move this morning, and yet another wide receiver is involved in trade rumors, so let's get to it. No surprise, this one is A.J. Brown, who I will say stays posting some cryptic things at all times. 6 days ago on Instagram, using me but not using me, which people have talked about for 6 days, and whether or not that means he's going to be traded or that he's unhappy in Philly. He remains by far the biggest name involved in trade rumors, in fact, ahead of that November 4th deadline. But ESPN's Adam Schefter was adamant that Philly would not be dealing him.
They beat the Giants. The Cowboys lost in Denver. The Commanders are in Kansas City tonight to play a tough Chiefs team, so it's possible everybody in the division loses. The Eagles don't play again until 2 weeks from today in Green Bay, the day before the trade deadline. If the Eagles don't make a move to better their roster between now and then, I'd be surprised. That's what they do. They're always active, they're always aggressive, and they're going to be that way again. I'll be surprised if in the next 2 weeks the Eagles haven't pulled off at least one trade.
And just to underline that, to be clear, the people who are asking, might they trade away A.J. Brown?
And they're not going to trade A.J. Brown. Here's the deal. They're trying to repeat as a Super Bowl champion. They're in the business of acquiring talent, not giving it away. And whatever they can get back for A.J. Brown, they can get back in February or March before the draft. They're going to want him here to help this stretch run. He's not going to get traded.
Fired up Adam Schefter saying this team is 6-2. They're not going to deal away their best receiver.
Come on, what are we doing?
I think
what are we doing?
That time of the year, right?
Listen, you don't
Trade
listen.
rumor season.
You know who A.J. Brown is? A.J. Brown is that uncle that just says random things. Like, man, I don't listen to him. He's just tripping right now. He's gonna be here at the cookout next week. He's gonna be at your graduation. He's gonna give you money during Christmas, but he's gonna say some crazy things because he's earned that right. A.J. Brown are one of the receivers in this league to where you just throw your hands up and say, he's fine, he'll be okay. No, it would be ridiculous for them to even entertain anything to do with A.J. Brown not being an Eagle. They are 6-2. Jalen Hurts just threw for 4 touchdowns. Saquon just went for $150. Everyone in their division is losing. They're in the driver's seat. Stop it.
I just think it's crazy he can go to cookout, but I can't.
You got some work to do.
That's crazy.
Got some work to do.
That's crazy.
It's all right. We got you, though.
Myles Garrett tied an NFL record for most sacks in a loss with 5 in the Browns' loss to the Patriots. So Patriots ended up winning that one 32-13. Again, Myles Garrett, 5 sacks in that game. Not enough to get a win. He was not feeling those personal accolades during his post-game press conference.
I want to win. I don't care how much time is on the clock. They got their starters in.
there's a chance we can win, I want to be a part of that. I don't care how dire the situation looks. I'm going to try to make something happen. So I hate coming out of those situations. I hate, that kind of inevitability and not being able to do anything about it, because I want to win. I'll do anything.
My brother, you want to win? Get your black behind out of Cleveland, okay? You get out of there. Get out of there fast. Get out. You seen that movie? Was that movie Get Out? Who made that movie?
Yeah, Jordan Peele.
Yeah. That is Myles Garrett. Get out of Cleveland.
The tea, Myles.
Stop it. 13 sacks, 10, 12, 16, 16, 14, 14. He's got 10 now, leading the league. Get
Browns just
out of Cleveland.
Stirring
he just re-upped, didn't he? Didn't he just re-up?
Yeah, so here's the thing. This is
for like $40 million
yes,
a year.
and this is why I
Goodness
wanted to
gracious.
bring up this topic specifically, this tweet. So Albert Breer retweeted. Pro Football Talk had a picture of, that famous one of like the Lambo that's in the carport, and it's anytime a great player's with a bad team, people just tweet that. So Pro Football Talk said this is Myles Garrett today and on most game days. Albert Breer said he's a great, great, great player, but I'd feel worse for him if he didn't just take the money when his finger was on the eject button. And then Trey Wingo, friend of the show, retweeted and said, exactly. You, meaning Myles Garrett, said you wanted to win. Then they offered you $40 million a year. You knew what the organization was, and you took the money. Live with your choices.
You have to. I mean, during the football season, it's going to hurt. During the off season, when he's on his private island, and he has his personal trainer traveling with him, his barber traveling with him, taking care of his family, it's going to feel good then. But then you get into the regular season, you fly to Middle America, which Cleveland has a stench to it. You know how they have the Tacoma aroma?
Mhm.
Like Cleveland has a stench to it.
I've never been.
Yeah, it's weird over there. But anyway, you put yourself here, but it's hard to say no to 40, even though he would have gotten that somewhere else.
Really hard to say. The only way I would feel bad for Myles Garrett is if the Browns were like, no, we genuinely refuse to trade you.
Yeah.
Like, we refuse to trade you. You are going to spend your career here, like it or not. But it doesn't sound like that's entirely what it was. It sounds like it was the Browns weren't getting the picks back that they were interested in, but Garrett still was open to a contract if it was record-breaking. And as he should.
Yeah.
He's a record-breaking type of player. Look at him. He just matched his own.
He's 29. The clock is ticking.
He
He got like 4 more elite years, unless he's like Trey Hendrickson, who's up there, who put together a few good years.
Part of me,
tough.
part of me respects any player that stays with that team, and they're like, no, we're going to do this. I have love for this city. I have love for this team. But the reality is, Myles, that like your talents are wasted there right now.
This ain't basketball. You ain't gonna get 2 or 3 guys
Yeah,
to
one
come
guy
and save
isn't
the day.
enough.
Nah.
Okay, well, speaking of pain, do you feel better or worse about the Mariners after the first 2 games of the World Series? That's next.
Wyman and Bob.
It's going to take a bit for this team, I think, to get past this moment.
Every afternoon at 2.
To be that close, you were just steps away, and you came up short. Some of them sat in that dugout and watched the Jays out there celebrating, and they're going to use that as fuel.
You're never going to be happy unless you win the last game, right?
Yeah, but somebody's always going home disappointed, and hopefully it's the Blue Jays.
Yeah, that'll be easy to root for the Dodgers.
Plus, they've got my favorite non-Mariner, Mookie
That's
Betts.
right, Mookie.
Love Mookie.
Only on Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports on YouTube.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now the company's changed, or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-466-3300. That's 206-466-3300.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail.
Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/sports. QUO.com/sports.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Nobody hooks you up like Popeyes. The Big Box is the reward that keeps on rewarding. Crack it open and you're greeted by 2 pieces of crispy signature chicken. Or if you want, 3 tenders, nestled in there with the 2 sides speaking to you most in this moment. You got that biscuit, and what are you waiting for? Dig right on in. That's feast mode activated. And you're in Big Box business for $6. Love that chicken from Popeyes. At participating U.S. restaurants. Price may vary. Tax extra.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. Touchdown! Seahawks! Ken Walker III! Get everything Seahawks at seattlesports.com.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all 3 like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
Have you considered surgery or even joint replacement? Hey, it's Dave Wyman, and before you make that decision, see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Why? Because he gives it to you straight. Dr. Wagner said my right knee needs replacement, and I appreciate his honesty and expertise. My left knee is fine right now, but the minute it isn't, I'm heading to Dr. Wagner for his expert opinion. I want to avoid another surgery, and I've heard so many patients rave about results from their 90-minute outpatient stem cell procedure with Dr. Wagner. He's a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience and has performed more than 20,000 stem cell procedures using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. People with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, are back doing what they enjoy without pain and without surgery. Whether it's a shoulder, hip, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text in to join this conversation. That number is 866-979-3776. And look, I am sorry if it's a little painful for people, which I think it will be, and talking about the Mariners has been that for a lot of people. But I do want to explore this question. It's interesting. Do you feel better or worse about the Mariners after the first 2 games of the World Series? And if your answer is, I feel exactly the same, I think the Mariners would also be 1-1, or I think they'd take 2 from the Dodgers, or maybe, there's nothing. But do you feel better or worse right now? We're a week removed, and 2 games into the World Series. A bit of a weird answer for you.
Yeah,
but
it is weird because I got a
LA native.
my team in that thing too. I feel the same, honestly, because I don't know. I think I'm allowed to be a bit more rational when it comes to this situation because I wasn't born here, right? I said to start the show, I've been rocking with the Mariners for like 12 years now. So when they lost, my initial reaction was, man, this hurts. But they did some things that haven't been done in a long time here, or ever, as you pointed out, getting to the Game 7 of the ALCS. And I felt like if they were to go up against the Dodgers, they wouldn't have enough. That was my honest opinion. I thought they wouldn't have enough. A lot of things would have to go their way. Are they capable of beating the Dodgers? Definitely. They're capable of beating Toronto. But things have to go your way when you're playing against a team like the Dodgers. So I feel the same. I feel like I'm not giving them a moral victory in saying that everything's okay. You don't have to improve. Just bring the same team back and everything's fine. But I think I've processed my emotions fairly quickly because I'm not as ingrained with this team as a lot of our listeners are.
I felt worse game 1, better game 2.
Mm-hmm.
After game 1, I thought, man, Toronto is bulldozing the Dodgers right now. And Seattle played them closer. And their offense is better than Seattle's. Their offense is frankly better than anyone's. Was in the regular season and was also the case in the postseason. But this Dodgers bullpen is gettable, and man, does that suck.
Mm-hmm.
Game 2, I ended up feeling better, and I thought, you know what? Dodgers are a force, and they didn't have to put up 8 runs a game to beat Milwaukee because their pitching was so incredible. But they're certainly capable of doing it. Did it against the Blue Jays in game 2, and these are right now the 2 best teams. And I will forever wonder what would have happened if a different decision, if Munoz was put in instead of Bizardo. Maybe if Julio draws a walk and Cal's up to bat with Julio on base. Like, I will forever wonder that.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think the Mariners could use a piece or two before they're a team that I'd bet on in the World Series. I would have wanted to see it, and it's anyone's game, but like, it's clear that there's still an offensive gap.
The Mariners are, I think about the situations that I've been in as an athlete to where we overachieved, right? There was a year where we played Oregon. They're top 5 in the country. They come to the Palouse, and we beat them. Alex Brink went nuts. We had like a big return. Like, there are some things that happen in that game that typically don't all happen in one game. We take down the number 5 team in the country. And then we go up against like a USC who's number 1 in the country, and we take them all the way to the brink. No pun intended with my guy Alex Brink being a quarterback. We have the ball late, don't have any timeouts, and we just don't do enough. But every game that I've been an underdog in, and we end up overcoming and making it interesting, some things have to happen. When you're playing a 7-game series, you need a lot to happen for you to hang around and to beat this team 4 times. That's what makes 7-game series, especially in baseball, just so difficult to overcome if you're just not matched up properly man for man. And I think that the 2 best teams are in the World Series at this point. I think that Toronto was deeper in the order. They were able to overcome some things. We can look at some decision-making that we might not agree with.
Yeah.
But I think it worked out the way it probably should have. If the Mariners were to make the World Series, man, the country would be behind them. It would be a Cinderella story.
Oh,
no
easy.
one's looking at the Toronto I almost called them the Raptors, Toronto Blue Jays, and thinking, what a Cinderella story.
No one outside of Toronto. No, they're fans in Toronto.
Highest payroll. You got ballers over there. Yeah, you probably should have been in the situation. And looking at the Dodgers and thinking the exact same thing.
Anytime they're painted as an underdog, I get annoyed.
They're not underdogs.
And if they were playing anyone besides the Dodgers, that wouldn't be a very sincere portrayal. I get really annoyed. The only thing that I can in any way empathize with is for the people that have never seen their team, anyone under 32, that have never seen their team in a World Series that get to. That's very cool and good for them. But other than that, you're not the underdog. I'm sorry. Listeners, I feel worse. This season was our best chance, and I'm not confident in the current roster to be back there next season. That's Sean from Centralia. Someone else said better. This team wasn't going to beat the Dodgers. It's a good stepping stone. Some mixed answers here.
Take the next step.
Yeah. Someone says, feel the same, haven't even been able to watch it yet. I don't blame you. I almost wasn't going to, and I told you guys I wasn't going to, and then I couldn't help it, and I turned it on Friday and was like, dang it, now I have to, and then I was complaining the whole time. Saturday was a better watch. I think better overall right now. 253 says the same. I think it's also mostly says the 253 because just time has passed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, at a certain point,
Time heals all.
Time heals all. And also to the texter who said, you know, hey, I feel worse because I'm worried that was the shot. It's not about whether or not they could beat the Dodgers. That might have been my only chance to see this team in a World Series. So who cares how the other teams look?
Mm-hmm.
This was your shot. That's the part that I'm most curious in, like how they break that feeling that so many people have. So let's bring on Seattle Times Adam Jude, who covers the Mariners, who covered this team during that run, and ask him what he sees with the pieces that lie here and what needs to be done. That's next.
Wyman and Bob.
It's going to take a bit for this team, I think, to get past this moment.
Every afternoon at 2.
You know, to be that close, and you were just steps away, and you came up short. Some of them sat in that dugout and watched the Jays out there celebrating, and they're going to use that as fuel.
You're never going to be happy unless you win the last game, right?
Yeah, but somebody's always going home disappointed, and hopefully it's the Blue Jays.
Yeah, that'll be easy to root for the Dodgers.
Plus, they've got my favorite non-Mariner, Mookie
That's
Betts.
right, Mookie.
Love Mookie.
Only on Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports on YouTube.
Old windows cost you money and security. Lake Washington Windows and Doors installs energy-efficient, high-security windows that lower your bills and increase protection. With leak armor installation and lifetime warranties, you're protected for life. Choose LakeWashingtonWindows.com today.
Hey, it's Tim Hunter, former Seattle radio goofball here with 2 words that aren't funny. Prostate cancer. Get your annual checkup. Keep an eye on that PSA number. And if you hear those 2 words like I did, talk to the folks at Swedish Cyberknife. 5 treatments, minimally invasive and technologically advanced over the other options. If you're a friend and I consider you one, I'd highly recommend Swedish Cyberknife. We are so lucky to have them right here in town. Do your research, but definitely visit swedish.org/cyberknife prostate.
Dave Wyman here, and we've been fortunate to hear from 2 Swedish Cyberknife patients this year, Andy Ryder and Tim Hunter. Both heard about Cyberknife from our radio ads and completed successful treatment, raving about their experiences. Tim was impressed that treatment only took 5 days. Andy hosted a large international delegation the week after his treatment. If you, a friend, or a family member is diagnosed with prostate cancer, consider treatment with Swedish Cyberknife here in Seattle. Go to swedish.org/cyberknife prostate.
The LJ way is.
You look at stuff like this and it's like, I don't want to come into an industry and work on a place that is going to compromise how I feel about myself. I get to go to work every day with good people and I get to enjoy what I do because I'm out there just trying to do right by people I care about, which is our community. We're going to see them at the grocery store. I'm going to see them at the sports tournaments. 2 friends of our daughters came in last night just on the lot, didn't know I was there, and it was cool because you got to take them through and they're going to buy a car for their first driver and a car for their kid going to school soon. These are the people that you're going to work with, and so you better make sure that your laundry's clean. I don't think Lee Johnson specifically, right, Speedway Chevrolet, where I'm at, I don't think they've ever had a problem with the community of being able to stand up and look them in the eye and know that they did their job well.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Hey, it's Dr. Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic, and it's time to make the final push to the end of the year. Do you want to lose weight, improve your health, and have more energy? We have a proven system and a team of health coaches that have helped over 4,000 people in Washington lose up to 10 to 20% of their body weight in just 8 weeks without expensive injections or uncomfortable side effects. No gimmicks, no tricks, no drugs, just teaching you how to become a fat-burning machine and keep it off long-term. Visit eastsideweightlossclinic.com now to schedule your free consultation.
Yeah, it's Mike Salk here. And just like writing that essay back in high school or maybe in college, starting, that can be the hardest part. Well, Eastside Weight Loss Clinic makes it as easy as possible. They helped me lose 35 pounds in just 60 days. A no-pressure, free 15-minute phone consultation. See if it's right for you. And if it is, you got nothing to lose but the weight itself.
Many clients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two, and you can do our program remotely from anywhere you live. Schedule your free consultation at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. That's eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. Right now, Revive Men's Health Washington is offering a comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value for just $99. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends November 30th. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com today. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Can you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
LSU has moved on from OC Joe Sloan one day after firing head coach Bryan Kelly. Run game coordinator Alex Atkins will take over as play caller in the meantime, the school announced today. Trade rumors are always swirling this time of the year in the NFL, but one head coach is adamant that his team will not deal one of its young stars. Jags head coach Liam Cohen told reporters this afternoon that despite a report, the team will not be dealing second-year receiver Brian Thomas Jr. The NFL trade deadline is Tuesday, November 4th.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Seattle Times' Adam Jude joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Adam, we're happy to have you, and we have so much ground to cover. First of all, even though we were able to hear from Jerry DiPoto and Justin Hollander and Dan Wilson last week, we haven't had a chance to talk to you about it, and I know that you were there and have been covering this team obviously closely throughout this entire, kind of week or so span since a heartbreaking end to the season. Anything sticking with you after those interviews with those three?
You know, what jumped out then and even now, a handful of days later, is just the raw emotion of it. It was this was only, really 2.5 days later after Game 7. I think when we talked to him on Thursday morning. And so again, just long flight back home. I think they landed around 3 a.m. or so Tuesday morning after the toughest loss, toughest series of their entire careers, no doubt about it. And so just the raw emotion of it. And just the freshness of it really jumped out to me. But I think even a week later here, I think the general feeling and the general vibe is that, this is really the start of something. I think the Mariners really believe that. I think the players believe it. I think the front office believes it. Ownership believes it. And I think fans should probably believe it as well. There are a lot of signs there that, this was a huge step for this franchise to obviously not only get to the ALCS, but to get within 8 outs of the first World Series. And I think in a lot of ways it should and will just make them hungrier to get back there. They know they were this close and they were that good, and they have their core is that good to do it again next year and for the next few years. Obviously they need to sign some people. I'm sure they'll make a trade or two here or there. They need to have a productive offseason, no doubt about it. But they're so close, and I think the sort of the questions and then the answers from the front office last week too sort of echoed that same sentiment that they're right there, and this has really motivated them to kind of drive forward and really build on what they've started here.
Hey, Adam, what did you make of Stanton's letter to the people?
Yeah, I thought it was a nice gesture. He took out a full-page ad in the Seattle Times yesterday in our Sunday section. I thought it turned out really well. Both, our cover with kind of all the pictures and sort of just looking back at the season, and then looking forward too. And then that was on the cover with the collage, and then with Stanton had the full-page ad on the back and addressing fans directly. I thought, something to take at face value. You said the work is just beginning right now. And I think we saw that from this ownership group this year as well, particularly at the trade deadline. They went into July and they spent about $10 million just for the final 2 plus months of the season and into the playoffs. And obviously the two biggest investments were Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez, and both those investments paid off big time. Naylor quickly became a fan favorite. Gino has been a fan favorite and then delivered one of the biggest swings in franchise history there in Game 5 of the ALCS. So I think ownership all along has sort of felt like that they were going to put their money where their mouth was when the time came. And they certainly did. And now, frankly, they need to double down too. And so, I've gotten a lot of reaction from fans, and rightfully so, that they don't want to, they want to see it before they hear it, if you will, walk the walk before you talk the talk. And I think that's where this ownership group is now. Like, okay, now go out and prove that you're serious about winning, double down here, bring Josh Naylor back, bring Jorge Polanco back, see what you can do with maybe Gino Suarez, and maybe go out and find a high-end relief pitcher, whatever they decide that they need to do. Go out and make those investments, because I think the fan base is invested emotionally like they haven't been in a long, long time. And I think fans are rightfully waiting to see what ownership is going to do next. And I thought this was a nice first step from John Stanton and the ownership group.
Adam, you said the tone just around the building, the facility, the team, is that it's the start of something. And then you mentioned that you think players believe that too. Is that because of conversations you were able to have with players after that Game 7, or is it because of just kind of what you know about them as a group?
Yeah, both. I mean, obviously a heartbreaking loss like that, Game 7, you're trying to talk to guys, and again, talk about raw emotion, in the locker room. Obviously the clip of the player yelling in the shower has kind of went viral last week too. But I think that, as Bryan Wu pointed out, that kind of spoke for everyone in that moment. They were so close, and just the frustration of it. And yet the pride, right? When you step back, here we are a week later, I think they should all feel, and I'm sure they all do, immense sense of pride, along with, the frustration that they could be playing in a World Series Game 3 tonight at home, where it would be tonight if they were playing the Dodgers. But when you come up that short, it's obviously going to be heartbreaking. It's going to be emotional. But again, I do think the general theme, even going into the ALCS, was like, hey, we've got something good here. We've got something special, regardless of what happens here in October. I think this is a group that's, the window is wide open right now for these guys. You've got Cal Raleigh in the prime of his career. You got Julio Rodriguez still entering the prime of his career, 24 going into his age 25 season. You've got this pitching staff that is still relatively young. They need to get healthy going into next year, and I think they're trending that way too. But and then you've got maybe the number one farm system in all of baseball as well, which we've talked about that quite a bit, but I don't think it's quite bubbled to the surface in the same way. But they've got some guys, young guys, who are going to be ready to help next year, and a couple who might be ready to help on opening day. And so you add that next wave of talent in, and then we're looking at what we saw with, Cal and Logan and George and Julio and this core group, and you add, 2 or 3 or 4 pieces to that, you've got this second wave that can continue to keep that window wide open too. So yeah, I think again, the players recognize it because they lived through it. They're like, oh, going through it for the first time, this is what it's supposed to feel like. I'm really invested in the guy next to me. I love the guy to my left, and they've kind of been through this war, so to speak, now, and they want to get back there, and they know what it takes. And like I said, I feel like, it's cliche to say it this time of year when you come up just short, but it does in a lot of ways just feel like a beginning.
Hey, Adam, we're talking about Stacy and I all right, what's next? Obviously, you want to sign Naylor, And then my focus shift to third base. Like, what are you going to do there? Is it Ben Williamson? You talk about the farm system and all that good stuff. So I'm preparing myself for this offseason. And then let me backtrack a little bit, too. After talking to people affiliated with the Mariners who cover them, it's almost like the big move isn't going to be as exciting as it could have been in past years when it comes to improving this team, at least the way that I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the bottom of the order. How do you get better there? What does a good offseason look like for these guys?
Yeah, you said it there, and I think it starts with Josh Naylor. He's just fit so perfectly with what they want to do, both the player and the position they need, right? They, since Ty France, they really haven't had an answer at first base. And here he is, left-handed hitter who can really hit at T-Mobile Park. And by all accounts, and he said it himself, he loves hitting at T-Mobile Park. How often do we hear that from new players coming into Seattle? Like, that alone, he should be at the front of the list for a guy they want to re-sign. And again, Jerry Dipoto, Justin Hollander, the front office, they've been on record saying Josh Naylor is a priority for us. And so all that, you added just the player he is and the position he plays, but then the cultural fit, the guy he is in the clubhouse, sort of that intensity that he brought that, frankly, they really needed. He kind of had that edge to him, and he brought them to a different level. I think everyone saw it, which is part of the reason why he quickly became such a fan favorite. But it starts with Josh Naylor. I think the Mariners might have to get a little uncomfortable in terms of the length of contract to give to Naylor because he is only 28 years old. A lot of these guys obviously enter free agency at 30, 31. And so most teams are reluctant to give them anything beyond 3, maybe 4 years. But it might take 5 years to get Josh Naylor to come back to Seattle. And frankly, he's worth it. And I think the Mariners know that. I'll be curious to see how the first base market plays out because first basemen over the last, say, decade or so have been treated a lot more like NFL running backs, right? They kind of run through them defensively. It's one of the least important positions in baseball. It's just with analytics in this modern era of baseball, it's just the way it's become. So you're not seeing a ton of first basemen get paid top tier money. Even Pete Alonso, a guy who's 50 homer potential, kind of had to take a shorter deal with the Mets last year. He's going to be back on the free agent market here. Christian Walker got 3 years, $60 million with the Astros last year. I think that's probably a starting point for the Josh Naylor negotiations as well. But again, everything to me starts with Josh Naylor. And then from there, I think the Mariners should have some money to spend. I do think Jorge Polanco is going to be a priority, and he should be a priority. Obviously, he's on the other side of 30, so it's going to be more of a 1 or 2 year type deal. And then it's going to be interesting for me to see how it plays out because I think the Mariners are at the point where they can kind of go get some luxury items, right? They're not going to be at least they've given no indication that they're going to be in the deep end for the free agent market. I don't think we're going to hear any discussions about Kyle Tucker or Alex Bregman, even though both would be a pretty ideal fit for the Mariners. They've just, over the last decade have not been comfortable, diving into that top tier market where we're talking about $40 million a year for these guys. But I'm curious with this relief pitcher market, if they're willing to go spend on a guy like a Devin Williams or, Suarez coming out of the Padres, these kind of proven elite closers who might cost you $10, $12, $15 million a year. Again, a guy to really help in that support role to bridge the gap to Andres Munoz because that's where the Mariners are at. And I felt like that all year. They could have used one more of those type guys. They almost landed one at the trade deadline in Joan Duran before he went to the Phillies. But I think that's where they're at, and that's one thing I'll be kind of circling throughout the offseason too. Like, can they go get a high-end, top-tier arm on the free agent market and make a splash there?
Speaking of bridging the gap, Justin Hollander and multiple Mariners decision makers have talked about wanting to leave some of that runway for younger players, for those top prospects, to be able to kind of grow into those roles here in the bigs. And they always point to Cal Raleigh as like, look, we had Tom Murphy and we had some other options there, but we wanted to leave runway for Cal, and then look what his development let him turn into. What are some specific positions on this team where in your gut you're like, hey, I think they're going to have to start with a younger guy here, but this is an area where they may have to decide whether or not they have a veteran? Just for instance, Adam, I'm wondering, like, what happens at third base? Do they look to a Ben Williamson and go, we love Ben, or do they look to add a veteran to replace some run production?
Yeah, it's a great question, and that's going to be one of the big ones for this offseason as well. Where they stand right now, my assumption is that they're going to hand the keys over to Ben Williamson or give them back to Ben Williamson. He's just so good defensively, and he had a 1.1 WAR in 50, 60 games this year, largely because of his defense. I can think of games in Sacramento, and there are many others as well, where he single-handedly kind of saved them late in games just with his work at third base. And then you add on some of the improvements he made late in the season in AAA, going back down with his bat. I think there's a lot of optimism that he can be, maybe a league average hitter on top of a Gold Glove type third baseman, and you've got something there. All that said, I think, they're just keeping the seat warm for Colt Emerson as well. 20-year-old top 10 prospect, I think consensus in all of baseball. I don't want to put a label on him, but, I think what the Mariners did, you talk about clearing the runway and clearing space for someone. Well, this is exactly what they did going into 2022 for Julio Rodriguez in center field. And I think there was some hope going into spring training that year that he could win an opening day roster spot. And then he really did solidify that as a 21-year-old and was your opening day center fielder. I think they're taking a similar approach with Colt Emerson going into spring training next year. Like, look, he's really young. He only played 6 games in AAA Tacoma late this season, but if he's ready, and we have to give him that opportunity and let him grow into that. Obviously, Julio had his growing pains into April as a rookie and then quickly figured it out.
Yeah.
But sometimes you got to live with that earlier in the season, especially if you have a really strong core around him. And I think the Mariners' plan is that Colt Emerson is their, heir apparent for J.P. Crawford at shortstop eventually. But I think Colt Emerson is good enough both with the bat and with the glove that he could really challenge Ben Williamson for the opening day job at third base too. And to me, that makes him one of the more fascinating figures in the entire organization going into 2026.
He is Seattle Times Adam Jude, kind enough to join us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.
Appreciate you guys.
Let's get to 4 Down Territory.
This is 4 Down Territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, what did you like about the start of the game in New England?
I ain't even talking about football here.
Okay.
All right? Since 2001, the New England Patriots have never introduced players individually before the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that blew my mind because there's something special about it. I remember when I was playing, me and Bryan were talking about this the other day, actually. The one game I knew I was going to start, I go, my name's about to be called. I'm running out the tunnel. Nah, they switched it to defense that day. I was so mad.
You're devastated.
Bryan the same way. He had his opportunity.
Yeah.
They switched it over to defense. It's almost like they're like, nah, we got these two starting, man. Let's make sure Lofa and them get all the shine and the glory.
Lofa, you got so many intros, man.
Lofa got enough, man.
You're a star.
3-time Pro Bowler, man. Goodness gracious. But I thought about the guy who maybe will only start 5-6 games in this league, and you get your name called, you run out the tunnel. It's a special feeling. When I watch those guys before the Seahawks game get their names called, they run out the tunnel. It's like a gladiator type of moment, right? You feel the energy. So I was happy for those dudes. I can't believe it. Good old grumpy Belichick said, nah, we're a team. We're running out together. I understand that.
Yeah.
But this is the NFL. You want to sell jerseys. You want to get the crowd hype. I'm glad Drake May finally got his name called running out there. He's playing like an MVP candidate. It means more than what people might understand. It might sound selfish as I'm saying, oh, I wanted my name called.
No.
But it gets you fired up, man. And I'm happy they got to experience it.
Well, and for anyone who's seen that in person, first of all, it's far more the norm than not. It doesn't make a player more selfish or not. I mean, we've seen that's always how they do it here in Seattle. Did that make this team more selfish? No. But I do the same thing where I always I still remember this. It'll be like when Ryan Neal came up and was like filling in for, God, who was it?
I was safety.
Thomas, was it?
Who was it? It might have been Tedrick, huh?
Tedrick? I don't know. But filling in had just been called up from a practice squad, and you get a run in and your name is announced.
Yeah.
And so anytime it's been guys where it's this might be the only time, or maybe it's the first time. Maybe it's Derek Hall getting his first regular start or whatever, which has long since happened. But you just feel really cool. It feels cool for that guy. You feel good for him.
Awesome.
So, good for them. Second down. What will inevitably get better this week for the Seahawks?
Pass defense. It will get better. It has to get better. I assume Jaden Daniels will probably play against the Seahawks. We shall see. He's recovering. We just heard Brian Walters talked about how McLaurin is back, Debo is back. This pass defense has to be better, and they have to be better tacklers, and Julian Love is a better tackler. Witherspoon is a good tackler as well. I think that's the next step for this defense is, one, recover a dang fumble. You pointed out last week they haven't done that.
Only defense not to.
Turn the ball over and be better in the pass, because we feel like with that front four, they're going to be able to get pressure. Even if it is Jaden Daniels back there running around, doing all his circus tricks, you got to be good on the back end, because there are explosive plays to be made. McLaurin, that's all he does. 1,000-yard season, don't matter who's quarterback back there. Debo Samuels, we know how explosive he is. So, yes, the pass defense is going to get better. You're going to see some 3 safety looks. You're going to see Spoon on the outside. You'll see him at the nickel spot. It allows them to be a bit more versatile. Ty Okada's done a great job. Bell has done a great job. But it looks a bit different when you have your ones in there. So with J-Love being back after 4 or 5 weeks, which is crazy, Spoon being back as well, these guys will be better. They're averaging 230 yards. I believe they're giving them, which is around like 20-something in the NFL. Yeah, it will get better. It has to get better.
Well, and also, like, so much of turnovers is luck. And even though you can see a correlation between typically pretty good teams that don't turn the ball over and then take the ball away, there are also teams that are maybe kind of middling and then really excel there because they get some turnover luck. The Bears won 4 in a row and had 15 takeaways in those games. Didn't get those turnovers in this past game against the Ravens, and all of a sudden it's, I guess this team is much better when they're able to get those turnovers and take advantage of it. So I would think you're right. Like, that luck just kind of eventually shifts naturally.
Yeah,
like, it just kind of progresses towards the mean. Third down. Who's a player we won't see in 2025?
Shedeur Sanders. You won't see him. He's going to sit the bench the rest of the year. I think Dylan Gabriel is doing enough to make these guys want to keep developing him, and which is fine. I think for Shedeur, that's probably the best case scenario anyway. You let Dylan Gabriel evolve and develop. You get your mental reps, and it's almost like you get to have a rookie season all over again. You could be a trade piece. A team is going to be struggling, looking for a quarterback, maybe a number 2 quarterback, and you can put yourself in a situation that you want to be in at this point with the influence of the Cleveland Browns. Of course, they have influence of where you go with trading or whatnot, but you can have open and candid conversation. I think Dylan Gabriel is doing enough, and I think Shedeur Sanders is handling this the right way. When's the last time you heard from him? It's been a while, at least a few weeks, right? I think when Dylan Gabriel got the first start, people were asking him about the moves, and then he did the I'm not talking type of interview. Hopefully he learned from that. But Shedeur Sanders is a name. It's crazy because he was the league leader when it comes to jersey sales to start the season. So people wanted to see him, but at this point, I think it's a wrap. I don't think we'll see him. As long as Dylan Gabriel is healthy, he should be the guy. He will be the guy. He's playing decent football. I know they lost, 3 games in a row, but this is what you do when you have a rookie quarterback. You got to go through the ups and downs. 702 yards, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's developing. I think Dylan Gabriel can be a solid quarterback in this league.
4th down. We talked with Seahawks Radio Network analyst Bryan Walters earlier today. Anything stand out from our conversation with Bryan?
Yeah, I asked him about, why does he think that the game is going back to old school under center, 11 personnel, 12 personnel? And he said he thinks it's the influence of the Eagles. And I can appreciate that. You look at Jalen Hurts, all the rushing touchdowns he gets. You got Saquon over there. You have 2 receivers on the outside. They have shown that run first is okay and packing it in is okay. He also said that he doesn't think any trades will be made at the trade deadline. So he's looking at this offensive line for the Seahawks and saying they're good enough. They're going to develop. Just be patient with the run. And then he made a good point about Rick Woolen. And what are you going to get out of Rick Woolen that is going to just put you over the top? Right. With how thin this DB room has been when it comes to injuries, I think you got to keep Rick. And I'll say it again, I think he's liable to go on a 3 or 4 game run to where he reminds people, all right, what I'm capable of. And if he does go on that 3 to 4 game run, and you do want to move him in the offseason, you'll get more for it. The best thing for the Hawks to do is to keep working with him, keep developing him, because I think he's going to be okay. And then I went back and looked at, because he talked about the Eagles and what their influence is. And a lot of the influence is because of the quarterback position, right? Jalen Hurts can throw the football, but that's not what you know him for. Set up the run, he runs, and he throws off the play action. Over the past 10 years, 6 out of the 10 quarterbacks with the most rushing yards have played the last 10 years. So that tells you just how the position has changed at the quarterback spot as well. So when you combine trying to match it with the defense and get them in a personnel disadvantage with your quarterback and the mobility of the quarterback, I think this is the way the game is going. There's going to be a time, maybe when I'm turning 50, where the game opens back up because of personnel decisions and matchups. But That is the game of football. You're looking for an edge, and it starts with personnel. Is my guy bigger, faster, and stronger? Is his guy bigger, faster, and stronger? Is he a good tackler? Is my guy good at breaking tackles? It's just a back and forth that happens with personnel constantly.
I saw an ESPN feature that was gauging kind of like the percentage chance that certain players are moved before the deadline. So the Max Crosby, a couple other guys. For Rick Woolen, they gave it 50-50 odds. Do you think it's that high?
No. I think 60-40 he stays.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably, I mean, obviously those injuries. Maybe if you would have had Devin Witherspoon come back and actually stay back, that changes. But the timing of it makes it very tricky. That trade deadline is November 4th.
Coming up.
That first Tuesday in November. Your next game back is going to be that Sunday night. It's a very short turnaround to figure out whether or not Devin Witherspoon can come back, be healthy, recover in time, and then you can get a deal done. I think I'm with you on this one. Hang on to Woolen. You don't end up getting as much as you possibly could in terms of picks back, but you stay pretty competitive and deep there.
Yep.
Let's see what's on tonight.
What's on tonight with Bump and Stacy, brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot. Now, here's what's on tonight.
It's Monday Night Football. Chiefs taking on the Commanders. Don't forget, Jaden Daniels out in this one. You're going to see Marcus Mariota instead. Also a preview of the next Seahawks opponent, because next time it's Sunday Night Football, Seahawks Commanders. As a reminder, what I need to know coming your way at 1:45, so get your questions in now. 866-979-3776.
Wyman and Bob.
It's going to take a bit for this team, I think, to get past this moment.
Every afternoon at 2.
You know, to be that close, and you were just steps away, and you came up short. Some of them sat in that dugout and watched the Jays out there celebrating, and they're going to use that as fuel.
You're never going to be happy unless you win the last game, right?
Yeah, but somebody's always going home disappointed, and hopefully it's the Blue Jays.
Yeah, that'll be easy to root for the Dodgers.
Plus, they've got my favorite non-Mariner, Mookie
Betts.
Betts.
Right, Mookie.
Love Mookie.
Only on Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports on YouTube.
Start having fun. Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. At Bible Law Group, we know how important voting is. That's why we're partnering with Seattle's own rock star Aaron Jones to rock the vote Thursday, October 30th at the Queen Anne Beer Hall. Vote and enjoy delicious smash burgers with Aaron and local bands by getting your ticket at bit.ly/BibleRock. If you've misplaced your ballot, don't panic. In Washington, you can still print a provisional ballot online and drop it in any official ballot box by November 4th. When prayer just ain't cutting it for your legal needs, we suggest 2 things: vote and call Bible Law Group.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/sports. QUO.com/sports.
This Breast Cancer Awareness Month, choose care that puts you first. At Snoqualmie Valley Health, you won't wait weeks for a mammogram. Appointments are available now just 30 minutes east of Seattle. Experience the difference with advanced 3D mammography and our new Breast Health Suite designed for accuracy, comfort, and peace of mind. If you're 40 and older, yearly screenings are recommended, and no referral is needed if you haven't had a mammogram in the past year. Don't wait. Detect early. Schedule today at snoqualmievalleyhealth.org.
Texting enroll
enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text AREA to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 42424. That's AREA to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is the home of the Seahawks.
Gonna let one fly deep. Got a man out there. Ball is caught down at the 10-yard line, and it's JSN.
Seattle Sports.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here. For my friends at People Come First or PCF Construction Group, are you tired of just grilling in the cold and rain every winter in the Northwest? Well, with a patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy your outdoor deck or patio all year long, staying warm and dry, even in the wintry months. And I have a special offer for you. PCF's Black Friday sale runs through November, and you can get up to 20% off your entire project, plus no payments and no interest until 2027. Most people don't consider building a deck in winter, but if you want yours ready by next spring and summer, then contact PCF right now to start planning. Spend the winter dreaming, designing, and approving your project so you're ready to build by the spring. Remember, planning and permits take time, so get started right now. Find all the offer details, get project ideas, and browse photos at pcfgroup.com or call 425-629-8476. That's 425-629-8476, pcfgroup.com.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rureka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
What I need to know coming your way in 15. Get your questions in 866-979-3776. Should the Seahawks be buyers at the deadline? I mean, we know they're not going to be outright sellers, as in you're like tanking, you're the Titans or you're the Jets. There's no saving your season. This is a very good Seahawks team. But do they need to add? Will they add? What's their greatest need? I've got a list of some potential trade deadline targets. I think a few of these are going to be a very quick, no thanks, but just kind of think about it, chew on it. Let me know how you feel about potentially one of these targets. By far, one of the most common names talked about as a trade deadline piece is Trey Hendrickson. We have already had conversations about the possibility of Trey Hendrickson here in Seattle. I'm guessing that price tag isn't quite as much as it was back in August.
I'm good on Trey.
Good on Trey?
I'm good on Trey, man. The front four is getting pressure. You got D. Hall, who's coming back, Uchenna Nwosu, who's playing at a high level. Jay Reed's doing it. Byron Murphy, 4.5 sacks. Leo, one of the best, if not the best, interior defensive lineman in the game. No, I don't think you need Trey. That'd be like, you already had, a pair of white J's. You buy a pair of white J's, a slightly different color on them. You don't need those.
Okay.
You just want those.
How do we feel about a wide receiver? I know that Jackson Smith-Njigba is on pace for not just the Seahawks franchise record, but like an NFL franchise record, or certainly a top 5 season, which is like 19-something right now is what he's on pace for. I don't think he's going to get it. That's very, very hard. But it's not like you need a top wide receiver. You've got that right now. But
You're good.
But
what?
What if you add to the group with someone like Jalen Waddle?
I don't think you need it.
Nice downfield threat.
How much is it going to cost? That's the thing too. What are they asking for when it comes to Waddle? I think that you already have one of the most explosive pass games in the NFL right now, and that's without Cooper Kupp doing anything near what he's used to doing. We don't expect him to do that, though, either. That's without Torrey Horton the last couple of weeks, kind of been quiet, you know what I mean? That's with the emergence of your tight ends. I don't look at the pass catchers and think this offense can't reach the places they want to go to if they don't have another wideout. I'm good. I'm good on Waddle.
Now, I know that we talked about how the problem with the run game is really more an interior offensive line issue than it is a running back issue. But what if I told you that there could be a running back who's on pace for a 1,000-yard season and just had a really good game who could be available, and he's on a rookie deal? So it's not a long-term thing. You'd still have to extend him if you want to keep him. But for right now, it's not like he's going to be a huge hit to your cap, that being Breece Hall.
No. You
don't want to have a fun running back?
Listen, we got two of them things. Ken Walker's the fun one. Zach Charbonnet is the responsible one. You know, Zach Charbonnet is like, I'm getting downhill, A-gap, 3 yards, 4 yards, no jukes, let's get it. Ken Walker's like, let's party. Hey, let's go. Let's see what we can do. Let's stretch the run to the left. Let's cut back to the right. Uh-oh, missed me. I might take this thing 30 yards. We good.
Okay.
We good there.
What about corner depth? Not only deciding not to trade Woolen, but adding to that room, Alontae Taylor could be available from the Saints.
Alontae Taylor. Haven't watched enough film on him. Did a bit when we were playing the Saints. I think that I would consider adding depth to that position just because we know how banged up they have been.
Well, and what if Witherspoon doesn't come back? Alontae can play in the slot.
Well, he's coming back.
Well, it doesn't come back soon.
He's coming back this week.
Okay.
He's in there.
I hope so.
He is.
How do you feel about linebackers?
LB is, I think you can use one there. I like Drake Thomas. I like Tyrese Knight.
Okay.
But if you can upgrade there, if you can get a guy who's had a couple seasons in the league to where he's around 80 to 90 tackles or whatnot, depth position for sure. But I think Drake Thomas is doing a good job.
There are some linebackers who could be available. Again, look to the Bengals, not an exceptional defense, but a team that's very likely to trade and certainly have some defensive players to move. What about offensive line? Not a position.
Now we're talking.
Not a position that is traded often. And here's the thing. A name like Wyatt Teller with the Browns, he's a multi-time Pro Bowler, very, very intriguing, could be available. If you can't get him, maybe someone like Kevin Zeitler with the Titans, not nearly as good and coming off a bad game, though.
Here's the thing. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I do extensive film study on random offensive linemen.
You don't watch the Titans' offensive line every week?
Don't do it. My film study is compiled of the team that we're playing that week, or if a team is doing something schematically that I love. But I don't sit there and just evaluate offensive linemen like that. So I couldn't even tell you much about these dudes. But what I can agree with is that if the scouting department thinks that any of these guys are worth it, you go ahead and get it, because that is where you are struggling the most on offense, in my opinion. Get some offensive linemen. Here's the thing, too, man. I'm still waiting on Christian Haynes, man. I still want to see what happens. What happens with Christian Haynes? What's going to happen with Oluwatimi? There are some moves that you can make to switch things up with this offensive line, but there's nothing like a veteran. If there's a veteran out there that they feel like you can insert and go, then you go ahead and do that. Now we're talking with the big boys, even though we've said it repeatedly. That's not a move that typically happens at the trade deadline.
Wide receivers are far more likely to be dealt at the trade deadline. I know I just played a cut from Liam Cohen, head coach of the Jags, saying, no, we're not going to trade Bryan Thomas Jr., but the report is out there. He has a lot of drops this year, but he's young. So this is a trade that you're making knowing, well, I don't know if Cooper Kupp's going to be here in 2026, but Bryan Thomas Jr. would.
It's his second year, right?
Yeah.
His second year. They're not going to let that man go. They shouldn't let him go. 1,300 yards last year. Trevor Lawrence. Who are you going to throw the ball to? Travis Hunter, who has potential but has a lot of work to do when it comes to route running and being a receiver in the league. I think that would be the worst moves the Jazz could make if they were to let Bryan Thomas go.
I mean, then why is his name circulating so much?
I don't know. I mean, Sarkisian said, look, I ain't talking to no NFL coaches. Someone leaked some bad information. I don't know. There could be some fillers being thrown out there, or it could be someone getting bad information. That's the thing, too, is that sometimes reporters get bad information. Sometimes they're set up for failure. You know, I couldn't tell you what the percentage is or exactly when. But for us just to take everything that someone says as a fact would be irresponsible. But if the Jags were dumb enough to try to deal Brian Thomas, would I look at him? Yeah, but would I want him and say we need to get this guy? No.
I don't think they need to get anyone. I think it's a really good team. I think that if there was a single position that I could choose to magically wave a wand and have it be upgraded, it would be at right guard. It would be the interior of your offensive line. I think that would help your run game. I think it would help your offense as a whole. Those players aren't typically dealt at the deadline. If there was a magic wand I could wave after that, I think wide receiver is kind of intriguing. Because here's the thing. If you don't add to your offensive line and you aren't able to make your run game like a top 5 run game, despite that being something that you sought to do in the offseason, well, then make your top 5 pass game even greater.
I'm going O-line LBs. That's my priority right there. O-line, for all the reasons you mentioned. LB.
Interior depth or outside?
Right guard. All right.
Let's talk about LBs.
LBs. Oh, okay. No, LB's interior. Yes, it'd be an interior. The guy opposite of our guy Ernest there. I think Drake's doing great. Bars. I think Tyrese Knight.
You can't give yourself bars.
I can and I will every time. And I think that Tyrese Knight can develop, but there's nothing like a reliable vet you can put in there.
Okay. That's actually, I did overlook that. That is a very, very solid place to add. Someone from the Bengals, potentially. Titans. I don't know if the Jets deal a ton of guys. That's the thing. They got a good roster. It's just not coming together.
Talented team I've ever seen.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, well, what are you going to do? Deal Garrett Wilson, a first-round pick who's fine if he had anyone to throw him the ball?
Speaking of Garrett Wilson, I saw a clip on Instagram where someone asked him about the last 4 great receivers at Ohio State.
I saw this.
And he said Jason is the coldest.
Yeah. I know. I mean, I guess that's why I'm kind of intrigued by wide receiver, because it's not that I think, eventually they're going to stop JSN and he's not going to be great, but leaning into something that's been so stellar for you this year, it doesn't stop the development of Torrey Horton. It doesn't stop the development of your tight ends. It just continues to add more weapons.
I think it don't stop the development, but it slows it down a bit.
But what if it makes you better as a team?
It could. I mean, it could, but do you need a guy like that?
You certainly don't need it. You need a guard, but teams don't just trade good guards at the deadline.
That's facts.
So I don't know what they do there, man. That's yet another probably off-season move of, to your point, maybe they look at Christian Haynes again and continue that battle, but probably going to be a draft fix or a free agent fix.
Yep.
But I don't know. The trade deadline can be kind of fun for adding. They've gotten so many good players. I know Dwayne Brown is one of them, but otherwise, Quandre Diggs, Carlos Dunlap has been a midseason trade.
Was DJ Reed midseason?
Claim on a waiver wire, but I think so. I mean, I would count that as midseason. I would count Marshawn as midseason, even though that was kind of like into the start of the season. But still, I think October. So they've struck gold there. I'm curious to see who the pickup is this time around. Get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776.
ESPN senior MLB insider Jeff Passan with Brock and Salk.
If you are in the Mariners front office, what are you spending your offseason focusing on?
This feels like a beginning, not an end. I see this being the beginning of the best run in the history of this franchise. The sheer number of really good prospects that the Mariners have lead me to believe that they're going to be in this position again.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
Are you frustrated with those trendy weight loss shots and not getting the long-term results you really want? This is Dr. Ryan Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss, and whether you've hit a plateau, can't handle the side effects, or watch the pounds creep back after stopping, there's a better way. Our program has helped over 4,000 people lose up to 10 to 20% of their body weight in just 8 weeks without expensive injections or uncomfortable side effects. Our doctor-developed program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast. Ready for real lasting results? Visit eastsideweightlossklinic.com now to schedule your free consultation.
Did he just say Eastside Weight Loss Clinic is half the cost and works twice as fast as weight loss injections? It's true. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic is natural and it works. I was finding that my clothes didn't fit as well, so I jumped on the program. I lost 35 pounds in 60 days. It was very safe and a healthy plan.
Many clients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two, and you can do our program remotely from anywhere you live. Schedule your free consultation at eastsideweightlossklinic.com eastsideweightlossklinicalsclinic.com. That's eastsideweightlossklinicalsclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Lake Washington Windows was voted best in the Northwest. Celebrate by saving 25% off new Leak Armor installed windows through October. Plus, enjoy 0 down, 0 payments, 0 interest until 2026. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com, a name you can trust.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. Right now, Revive Men's Health Washington is offering a comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value for just $99. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends November 30th. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
If you use carpool or toll lanes along SR 167 without a good-to-go account, you'll now receive a bill in the mail. That is a change. A good-to-go pass saves $2 on every toll. That is not a change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
Makita knows that pros never settle, and neither do we. With Makita, you get tools that perform at the highest level on every job without compromise. Makita is for the most detailed pros, expertly engineered to deliver precision, job after job. When your work calls for the best, call on Makita. Makita, built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you. Guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Get your questions in for what I need to know. Win 2K. 866-979-3776. If you wrote a book about the Mariners' 2025 season, what would the title be?
Ulak.
And then you explained it, because I did read you this off
If you've
air.
watched Apocalypto, whatever language they're speaking, there's a scene where the guy who's a slave almost kills the guy who took him, and he says, I'm going to call you Ulak, which means almost. Almost.
That one was gutting. That's a good one, though. I couldn't think of... I almost said something with luck or lucky, but they weren't, like, straight lucky.
No.
They were really resilient, but almost is just... I will... While the title's cool, I will remember it as being maybe the most fun I've ever had watching a season.
Yeah.
And covering it was so fun.
Me too. Honestly, no joke. Watching the Mariners this past season and playoff run, I had more fun than watching the Dodgers win a World Series.
Yeah,
Because
it
the
was
Dodgers
amazing.
were like almost expected to do it. But these guys is like, oh my gosh, they're going to do it. They're going to do it.
I learned so much about baseball too. Like you think you know, and then you go in and you're like, just different experiences and, my thoughts of when to call a season or like when like, oh, they're definitely out of it or they're not good or they can't win this. I had that challenged routinely.
Constantly.
Yeah, great season. What I need to know. A new reality show starting, and you've been selected as part of the cast. During each episode, you have to do one of 3 things or risk being eliminated. Those 3 things are dancing, singing, or not talking. Which one are you choosing?
Oh, I dance all day.
Yeah.
I dance. A little 2-step, stay in my box.
You have to do one of those 3 to avoid
You have to do
elimination.
one of those 3 things to avoid elimination. And let's pretend you have to do it well. You can't just like do like a sidestep. If you're dancing, you've got to like learn choreography.
Not talking.
That's the easy one.
Not talking's the easy one, but could I do it?
That's what I'm saying.
I think
I could do it.
How long do I have to not talk?
12 hours.
I could not talk for an hour.
An hour.
I could not talk for 2 hours.
12 hours.
Am I just at home by myself?
Yeah.
I talk to myself a lot. That's tough. Singing. Singing. 866-979-3776. Bump, do you remember a game where you just had a ton of fun?
Yes. It was one of the games, Thursday night football on ESPN against Nevada. I took one to the house like 83. I almost broke the school record for most punt yards in a game. I missed it by like 5 yards. And my coach was like, you want to go return a punt and break the record? And I go, nah, I'll have other opportunities. Never again.
Oh, no. Do you ever think about that? Or do you just think, I had so much fun?
No, it was fine. It's all good.
Let's see what I need to know. Future you. Oh no. Future you walks through a portal looking Tom Brady healthy and tells you it takes 49 more years until the Mariners win the World Series. Future bets aside, what would your reaction be to hearing that? Are you still watching?
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
think it'll
still
take
watching.
49 years. It's not going to take 49 years.
I'm still watching.
This is a good window. But yeah, I'm still watching.
And I'm watching with the hope that my future self was lying.
Would you ever want to know the future?
Some things about the future.
What things?
If my kids are healthy and successful.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But
I don't
want to know when I die.
No,
I don't wanna know none of that stuff, man.
I don't ever want to know when I die.
No.
Do you guys know there's a scary movie about that? Have you seen this? It's a horrible movie, but it stuck with me because of the concept.
No, I've not seen
The scary movie premise is that there's an app that you download, and when you download the app, it opens up on your phone and it tells you when you're going to die. So in the movie, some people, they're at this party when they download it, and some people look at it and it's like, oh, 80 years. Like it'll show the date and they'll be like, oh, that's weird. And then the point of the movie is that this girl downloads it and it says she has like 3 days. And so she tries to avoid it. And the movie itself, not great. Like not a quality scary movie, but the
concept.
The theme scared me because then I was thinking like, would I download this app? No, it would be terrifying. It would be terrifying. I wouldn't want to know.
Heck no.
Because imagine if you download it and it says a week.
I'm just staying
That's
inside.
all you're thinking about for a week.
Well, actually, I'm going hard. I'm going
No,
extremely hard.
but you wouldn't enjoy any of it. The point
Yeah,
of
you
when you go
would.
out, no, you wouldn't.
Some
That's like
people
when,
get diagnosed with cancer and they tell them, look, you got like 6 months.
Sure.
And they go hard.
Yeah, well, I guess that's a bit different though, because you're thinking like, okay, I'm trying to enjoy this time with my family and soak up what I have left. But like, I think of it more like if you were on death row and people talk about like a final meal, would you even really enjoy it?
I don't know. But you could not enjoy it. You tell me I got a week, I'm going hard.
Yeah.
I'm not showing up to work. Just know that.
Let's see. Someone said, what if the app has a glitch so you don't actually die in a week, but then you spent all your money? Imagine that the
That's
app
me.
Imagine
That
the
was
app
a
is
heck
like,
of a week.
oh no, we actually miscalculated. Sorry, we thought you were Michael T. Bumpus. It's Michael L. Bumpus. No, you actually
I'm
have.
suing the company. I'm suing you.
With what money now? You've blown everything in this week.
I know people. Hook me up.
Someone said I'd want to know lotto numbers. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there was one thing. But then, oh yeah, I guess you could fill out it yourself. I forgot how lottos work for a minute.
I don't know. I've only done it a couple times.
866-979-3776. Which Seattle sports luminary would be the best option for a grueling reality show like Special Forces? Genuinely, who would get the furthest? It would be maybe Bump or Bob, Wyman, Brock. I would be last, is what I'm saying.
I'd go with any former athlete.
Yeah, the former athletes would all get the furthest. Of the hosts, me, Mike, and Bob, I'm definitely quitting first.
I think Bob probably, but I think Salt got some grit to him. I think he would push through some
He's got
stuff.
some stubbornness.
I don't know if he's got grit.
So it's a competition.
It's a
between,
lot of sick days. A lot of sick days.
It's a competition between me and Mike of like, who says no? For the second they say you guys are sleeping outside, I'm done.
That's all it takes.
I'm done that second. Yeah. Yeah. This is why I love Survivor. I could never go on it. So congratulations to you guys for winning Special Forces, I guess.
Appreciate you.
Wyman and Bob coming up next.
Wyman and Bob.
It's going to take a bit for this team, I think, to get past this moment.
Every afternoon at 2.
You know, to be that close, and you were just steps away, and you came up short. Some of them sat in that dugout and watched the Jays out there celebrating, and they're going to use that as fuel.
You're never going to be happy unless you win the last game, right?
Yeah,
but
somebody's always going home disappointed, and hopefully it's the Blue Jays.
yeah, that'll be easy to root for the Dodgers.
Plus, they've got my favorite non-Mariner, Mookie
that's
Betts.
right, Mookie.
Love Mookie.
Only on Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports on YouTube.
After years of football and the injuries that go with it, my first thought was always go get surgery. Hey, it's Dave Wyman, but after a consultation with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine, my eyes were open to an alternative to surgery, and I'm talking about stem cell therapy. Well, and my buddy and co-host Bob Stelton, also in pain, and decided to go see Dr. Wagner.
I had a hip issue from 14 years of jiu-jitsu.
How's the pain now?
Everything I did before, I can do just as well. Hitting the heavy bag, sparring, rolling, all of that is back in play. This whole thing has been such a pleasant surprise because I really was of the mindset, I'm going to have to go under the knife. I'm going to have to get surgery. And this really saved me from that. I could not be happier with the results.
Whether it's a hip like Bob had, a shoulder, a knee, a wrist, an ankle, before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine.
Do it. You will not regret it.
Hey, get the facts, hear from all the patients I've talked to, and schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health. It's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without auto